Hello, everyone, and welcome to my look at Beyond R Rule Ripper. So, this is a game that was actually made by one of the viewers of my channel. Someone who I recognize from comments from almost years at this point. Emiya Yukido, you might have seen them in the comments of a lot of the Fate stuff. And I got an email one day which was, "Hey, I'm making a game and it's coming out," which by the time this video comes out, I think it'll be out. I'm kind of trying to make it come out for release there. And he said Fate Stay Night is a huge inspiration, along with the other games there like Danganronpa, Ever 17, which I've heard of and used music of in videos before, but I've not actually played, which I listen, those, like, long time, big name visual novels, I wanna play them all one day. When will I get to them? Who knows? There's so many games, but, and saying, like, this is these were inspirations for, their own game, and so, yeah, here we are. I love this menu for choosing your language. We can either go, "Bienvenido al Golden Jack," or "Welcome to the Golden Jack." Well, I speak English sometimes pretty well. So let's start with, let's hop on in. He said go in blind, which I'm doing. Begin, take a look at our menu. Can I get the chicken nuggies and a Huddy Bussy? There's a barman button? What? Okay! That's cool as hell! Wait! Wait, I love that. I love where it's like, I love that you showed me stuff, and I'm like, what's that? And then you're like, don't worry about it. Oh, okay. So next we have 3 buttons. That makes me happy. Menu, back, skip, hide, save, load, backlog. Hey, that all works for me. The fact that there's other buttons there, and then they're like, don't worry about that. That's amazing. Enjoy your stay. I guess I will. Ooh, settings first. Yes, that's important. I need my settings button. Did I click settings? Oh. The Golden Jack staff presents Project Brr. It's chilly. I guess I didn't click settings. The door was go in. I thought the door was settings. Don't cry. Everything will be all right. I think settings was beside it. I won't cry. I'm a big boy. Deijo. Sometimes it'll be tough, but nothing lasts forever. Character artist, Ira Isaac. Ira? And that's why the good times have to end too. But we'll meet again someday, when you watch someone else's reaction to the game on YouTube. Background artist, Goya Munoz. I'm sorry about the name pronunciations. Remember, you're stronger than you think. I can pick up this rock. Oh, good heavens, that's bright. Heat overwhelmed my senses. I could feel the sweat on my body. Yeah, that's the sun. The sun was witness to the scene, but it wasn't the only one responsible for that state. Okay. Because stronger than that heat was the pain. Ironic for Project Burr. It didn't seem to have an end. I couldn't even remember its origin anymore. Oh. Most visual novels end with brutal pain, not start. I wanted to stop it. I probably have to click. No. I had to stop it. Executive producer, Ardiel Suarez. But the result remained the same. In my mind, those words appeared again. Words of support and hope that in that moment only hurt more. But even then, I couldn't forget them. They had too much value. I'd already forgotten his face, his voice, his name. I didn't want to lose anything ever again. Music by Sonos Vitae. Doesn't that mean like sound of life? Life sound? Finally, it ended. I couldn't do anything, yet it ended anyways. That scene would repeat. It was inevitable, a cycle that changed every time yet remained identical. Though, was it really inevitable? It's at this point that I realize this is a dream. No, it's a recollection of the past that I wanted to leave behind. It's a nightmare. The pixelation is actually a really cool. I like that. I had to go back to reality, to my new life. But what awaited me on the other side would make me regret waking up. Beyond R. Rule Rip. Brr! Ah, Torev. That's Emiya Yukido. The story begins with a selfish wish, and most likely will end with another one. Is that bad? I'm not in the position to judge. Though, in my humble opinion, maybe it is not. Oh, here's a cast of characters. The lives of 10 people. 10 different worlds. Will they be the judge, the executioners, or the executed? Whatever the result may be, I will accept it. It is in their hands. I am merely an observer. Loathe me. Wish my death. Destroy the imposed chains. That's a child. What's he doing at a bar? And find the answer to this farce. Do that, and the true victory will be yours. No, it's not your turn quite yet. Now, the hero enters the scene. Like the Dragon Quest hero appears, and it's like, oh, okay. I didn't think he'd be here. Wow, he must have paid a lot of money to get him here. His memories began to dissipate, replaced by the darkness. And from that darkness, a new reality started to take form. And from that darkness, a new reality started to take form. Wait, what? The rhythmic vibrations of the symbols. The words changed, but I couldn't tell that they changed. The scent of alcohol. A mature scent. Distant voices. As he opened his eyes, a new light. Okay. All right, here we are. So, I can open the menu now. That's good. We got aspect ratio. I was like, check that. Whoa, that's expensive. Wait, that's kind of funny. Now playing Golden Jack, I like that there. Music and sound. Chain sounds. Huh. Interesting. Auto on, wait time, skip unread. That's a good option, right? Controls. Okay. Why? Okay, so barman map profiles hints. Okay. Well, we should be good. Huh. Where? He surveyed his surroundings, trying to identify his location. What is this place? A violet and blue-toned light covered the room, casting a cold, nocturnal ambiance over the place. Alluring, yet slightly sinister, illuminating yet creating a false darkness. The heavy air, charged with the smell of liqueur and traces of tobacco smoke, called for a drink. From the speakers played a melody that drifted to the bar's corners, an exchange between a fragile piano and a confident but subtle bass, an elegant piece of jazz, even with the faint crackle that revealed his... I was going to say there's a bit of crackle in the back. I can hear that, and it's freaking me out because it's the same crackle that happened when my last set of headphones were dying. And so I'm like, is this okay? I took them off. I'm like, okay, are we good? Yeah, no, I guess it's just what it is. There was no doubt. It was a bar, a high-class one. He stood up and turned towards the sofa where he'd awoken. An old man and a girl were sleeping on the sofa next to it, very similar to his. Their faces were completely foreign to him. Who are these? He didn't recognize their faces, just like that place. Digging through his hazy memories, recalling what he'd been doing before waking up, the only thing he could say for certain was that he hadn't gone to sleep. Last thing he remembered was returning home. He went inside and then... blank. He couldn't remember. Not being able to reach an answer, his attention shifted back to the two on the sofa. He decided to approach them, but was stopped by a voice behind him. Hey, look, someone else got up. I don't know who it is. Oh, hey! He turned his head. On top of the nearby stairs, he found a man clearing his throat, with a hint of disdain in his voice. Behind that stranger, some more showed up, taking a good look at the young man. Distrust, intrigue, and arched eyebrows. Those were the group's reactions after scrutinizing him. He didn't know what to say. Instead of talking, he looked around again, confused. Come over here, come on. After saying that, the man turned around and walked back with the others. Without giving it much thought, the young man followed them, going up the steps and reaching a much larger area. Not too far away, he saw the counter of that bar. The group he had followed was now sitting by it, alongside a few more people. He quickly went up to them. He didn't wait for a greeting. Questions were piling up in his mind, and they needed to be let out. What is this place? What's with this bar? Could someone explain to me what's happening? Oh, hi, ma'am. First off, calm down, okay? Excuse me, it's, just that... Yes, we know. We're all thinking the same. Just take a seat and try to chill out for a bit. You're not the only one lost here. But I don't understand. Do none of you know why you're here? Gal! I think you mean Gyaru. Bingo. Bewildered, he sat down on one of the stools. The group's demeanor was about as much of a mystery to him as that bar. They seemed too relaxed, or at the very least, composed. However, looking more closely, he could tell some of them were tense. So if I understand this correctly, you all woke up here just like I did? Exactly. A pretty lujoso place, don't you think? I don't even know what language that is. What? Okay, thank God it's intended. Okay. Not Bazit. Before anything else, we should ask for his alias. Alias? My nickname? Oh, but there's the bartender, okay. If you check inside your pockets, you should find a device like this one. The monopad? No. The man on the other side of the counter showed him what seemed like a small tablet. Oh, I was joking, but... He saw its back for a brief moment with letters printed on it that he couldn't make out in time. Try to turn it on, if you will. Following the man's instructions, he put his hand in his pocket, feeling an object quite unfamiliar to him. Oh, we got a little device. Oh, it fell. Oh, there it is. Can you imagine? It falls and you just hear a shattered noise. It's like, okay, well, that's on me. Taking it out, he confirmed it was the same kind of tablet the man had shown him. This time, he saw its back clearly, on which golden letters spelled Barman. Not to be confused with Bartman from The Simpsons. He pressed the only button it had, and the screen turned on. I'm getting tired of Apple removing buttons. Welcome to the Golden Jack. Your name is Billiards. Billiards? What did you say? Oh, hello. Oh, Billiards Midori Sour. Do I click it? Is that what I'm drinking currently? Interesting. Billiards. Is that my alias? Billiards, eh? Seems like the theme continues. Theme? See, the nicknames seem to have a shared theme. On top of the counter, with her legs crossed and a glass in hand, the girl seemed unconcerned. She intoned her words with the same leisure as the sips she was taking from her drink. All these names seem to be things that could be in a bar like this one. I got Lime. Okay. Cute. I like it. It's cute. Look at this Danganronpa title card. I know what you are. Oh, Lime. Wait, are we named after drinks? Or is this because you're lime gin fizz? A pleasure, monsieur. Are you just speaking different languages every time? Lime? Maybe because my jokes are as strong as citric acid? Or something like that, I don't know. That's what that's what some say about my sense of humor anyways. Oh, I see. Like the lime you add to a drink. And billiards. Yeah, I guess it's a pretty common game in places like these. Maybe it's not the best example, but trust me, you'll get what I mean when you hear the others. Wait a moment, before that, what are these aliases for? How did we get here? That's what we all want to know too, but we know about as much as you do. Then, how did you know about this barman? Or how did you know about this barman? Wait, did I read that right? I don't know if I did. Wait, log? Ooh, good log button. Then, how did you know about this barman? It's quite simple, actually. We've been up longer, that's all. As soon as we saw the nicknames, we all agreed to use them. Just to be safe, you know? Vinny Vine Sauce! Exactly. Could be dangerous to give out real names. Nobody seems to have recognized anyone else so far. In other words, we're a group of strangers. Billiards nodded, trying to process the situation. He was certain that he knew none of them, and had no idea how we got there. The situation was quite strange indeed. Everyone agreed that hiding any personal information was a good idea, at least for the time being. While he was still surprised by how calm they seemed to be despite the strange situation, now it made a bit more sense. He had no idea how long they'd been waiting for him to wake up, but they probably had enough time to calm down. And on that note, so then, the old man and the other girl, they're still sleeping on those sofas, right? We found you a while ago, and decided to let you sleep for a bit longer while we calm down, especially for the old man's sake. It's important to have a good rest when you're at that age. Oh, you're bad for my health. I'm Cigar, by the by. Ooh. Well, where's she looking? She's looking at those drinks? She's looking down there? Oh, you're a cosmopolitan. Cigar. Like a cigarette? Those are different things. One of them is cool. Oh, well, no, it's not really. Is a cigar cool? I don't know, actually. They just give different feelings, you know? I can't smoke either. I will die. I have a heart condition. Yes, can't say I'm fond of the name. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, but it is accurate. With the same tiredness as in her voice, she brought the lighter's flame closer to the cigarette, fighting to stay ablaze. Was it a coincidence that, as a smoker, she'd be given that name? Highly unlikely. And that disturbed him further. Is he worried that people are gonna figure out he really likes balls? Oh, there was something else that got his attention. That cigarette and the lighter. Huh? Are those yours? Maybe it's just me, but the only thing in my pockets was this tablet. So it seems weird to me that... Oh, no. It was the same for all of us when we woke up. I found the lighter on top of the cigarette machine, and the cigarette... Well, you can take a guess. But if you didn't have any money... The key was in... Don't try to tell me stealing is wrong when, as far as I can tell, we're all here against our will. The one responsible isn't the owner. I can pay them back later. I guess so, sure. Okay, so cigar and lime then. What about the rest? The man that had found him earlier placed his nearly empty glass of rum on the counter. He then searched for the pockets of his shirt and pants, once again, sure they were empty. Ah, shit. He closed his fists tightly and hit his leg to vent his frustration. Had he forgotten that they were emptied out? Had he not checked until then? Or had he done it out of habit? Goddamn addiction. Can't even think straight. Bartender, pass me something strong. Don't care what it is. And he hands him a little Goku. Right away, sir. Cigar, pass me a smoke pronto. You can get a new pack from the machine for free like I did. Come on, ma'am. It's so free, why do you care? It's not like you'll use them all now, right? Fine. Luckily there were 2 lighters. Take the other. This feels important. Who has lighters? Though frowning, Cigar extended her hand with the pack and lighter. As he took out his cigarette and lit it, the man addressed Billiards. Poker. Oh. Okay. Poker. That's his poker face. You got, yo, the Godfather? What's a Godfather? That sounds awesome. I don't know about the card. That doesn't seem sanitary. Excuse me? It's my alias, boy. A pleasure. Hey, poker is much cooler than lime. No way, Jose. What's poker without some luck? As long as it's nothing more than luck and you don't have any aces up your sleeves. I'm not one for cheating. Happy to hear. If we get the chance, it'd be nice to play against you. Absolutely. I never say no to a good challenge. Excuse me, but... Oh, my bad. I guess you'd like to hear my alias, right? Yeah, that'd be good. I'm Gin, like gin and tonic, not Jim. Also not as in genie, or, you know, Jimberly. I don't do wishes. Right, Gin. What do you got? That's a knockout, okay. Oh, I see, gin is in the drink. The one made with juniper, right? I didn't know that. Gin is weird enough, dude. Don't make it worse calling me Juniper. Oh, sorry. I don't know, I think Jin is fairly normal. Like, okay, but to be fair, if someone said their name is Jin, I'd either go, oh, like Jin, like, you know, the Tekken character, and that'd be fine. And then be like, no, with a G. And then I'd be like, oh, so like the One Piece character? And they'd be like, yeah, I guess. Sorry, it really is true what you were saying about the theming, though. It's all related to the bar. Yo, this music, though. If this played in a bar, dude, I'd be like, yeah, this is awesome. Can't complain too much. At least there's lots of drinks. Smiling and clinking a pair of ice cubes in her empty glass, Jin put her keen sights on the man behind the counter. Cocktail. Hey, give me another one. Right away. Billiards observed him and his mannerisms, dry and stoic, responding politely to the others, and seemingly used to serving drinks. The dexterity on display, his control over the bottles, was quite remarkable as well. Wait, did you say cocktail? Affirmative. A cocktail is the alias I've received. Oh, I thought your name was Barman. Okay. Cocktail. Amarina Chupito. Okay. Seems like you're good at handling drinks. Indeed. I have some experience on the matter. I'd say it's more than some. If you are in need, I can make you any drink. I think I'm fine, thanks. Come on, don't be shy. If this isn't the time to drink, what is? After all, alcohol fuels the flames inside our hearts. Put that on VG Advisor, and then get blocked by VG Advisor. What? Ignore him. He already sounds drunk. That's just how I roll. You need way more than this to waste me, I assure you. You are Vincent Vinesauce? My pseudonym is Darts. Oh, wait. Do I need to give you the voice of the guy from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged? I don't even remember what he sounds like. It was just a funny voice. What do you get? You get the yellow bird. The man's appearance was quite curious. In fact, Billiards couldn't find the right words to describe him. While the bags under his eyes showed wariness, his gaze was sharp. Darts. All right. I find it very fitting, I have to say. Why? Now's not the appropriate time to go into details. You're an assassin. Maybe it's at some other point. You're an assassin. Okay, then it's cigar, lime, poker, gin, cocktail, and darts. His eyes suddenly fell on a seventh person that he hadn't noticed up until that point. A child. kid around 11 or 12 years of age was sitting on the stool behind Darts. He hadn't said a single word in the time Billiards had been there. Billiards leaned into the counter to get a better look at him. Their gazes crossed for an instant. And you are? The boy gazed at Billiards briefly, seemingly judging him. Once he was done with his quick observation, he lowered his head as a sign of distrust and answered. Piano. Oh, that's rough, buddy. Huh? My nickname's Piano. That's a rough one. Like, okay, that word's been ruined for me because of a freaking joke from the Disney Channel show The Weekenders, where there's someone who's like, we're good at playing piano. Like, it's a word that's just been ruined for me. I when I read the word piano, my brain doesn't say piano, it goes piano, right? Like, it's been ruined. Thanks, The Weekenders. That and crevasse. I see. Is he okay? He seems upset. I understand if he was, waking up here with no explanation. We're not the ones he should be mad at. Okay, there's two things he could be mad at. One, he's at a bar and can't drink. Fair, I understand. Two, what if he's actually like 25 and he's just like, I just look like this man? Wait, did he get one? Pineapple Passion. That better be a mocktail. To be fair, it makes sense for his age. I wasn't like that as a kid. Trying to be lenient, he decided to leave it at that. Someone else, however, thought differently. You could try being a little more friendly, you know. No. Billiards? Hey, Billiardo! A hand touched his shoulder. What? Oh, right, I'm Billiards. Sorry, haven't gotten used to that name yet. No pasa na, you aren't alone. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, don't you think your namey is a teeny tiny bitty too wonky? I need to read that one more time, just because I need to settle in. That's what I just said. Don't you think your namey is just a teeny tiny bitty too wonky? Well, now that you mention it, Billiards doesn't really feel like a name. It's a bit awkward. Are we gonna be Bill? Exactly. And so, because of that, I hereby propose that you be renamed. Insert drumroll here. Bill. Wow, you must have thought about that for a long time. How's that? Almost sounds like a real name and everything. I mean, it is. So, sure, sounds good, I guess. You can all call me Bill. It's probably going to be much easier to get used to than Billiards. Great. Then I baptize you as Bill. Amen. The newly renamed Bill then remembered the two people that had yet to awaken, the girl and the old man. By the way, should we wake up the other two already? Yeah, it's about time. We waited enough. The group decided to get up and peek at the lower couch area where he had awoken. Are they already up? They're getting up? Let's see. The old man's head was visible above the back of one of the couches. However, the spot next to him where the girl had been was now... Huh? Where'd the girl go? I only see Gramps. Bill went down the steps and up to the couches. Okay, the way this is showing like who's with your party? It's an interesting thing with the glasses. Bill went down to the steps and up to the couches. The girl had indeed disappeared. Confused, he looked around for any traces of her. The old man's eyebrows then began to move as if they were trying to open his eyes. Oh, you are old! Bill looked at him. The man put his hand on his nape and started to massage its tired muscles. He rubbed his eyelids and looked back at the bewildered boy. Finally, before talking, he licked his dry lips. St. Peter, is that you? What? This is heaven, no? Dude, if you think heaven is a bar, you got some big problems, buddy. From the higher area, the rest of the group, paying attention to what was happening, started to murmur. Some laughs could be heard. The old man turned his head toward the noise. I wasn't expecting to find a bar up here. Better than I expected. We get to drink, that is. Unfortunately for us, it doesn't seem to be a paradise whatsoever. Esatto. Being a bar, it's probably more like purgatory, if you know what I mean. Sir, please come this way. We will try to explain as best we can. The old man struggled to his feet and looked at Bill once more before leaving with the others. It was then Bill remembered he hadn't found the girl yet. He turned his head toward the nearby tables. At one of them, Sitting on a chair examining a barman. Oh, the barman is the name of the iPad. I see. Oh, that's the barman button, right? We press the P for the barman. Well, we can't do it right now, but it's the barman button. Okay. Anyways, was the girl. You look familiar. Why am I looking at you and getting I think my one artist friend draws herself extremely similarly to this. Uh, hey, excuse me. Hi. Her eyes didn't react to the greeting. She kept staring at her barman's screen. Did she not hear me? Could she be deaf? Uh, hello? Can you hear me? What do you want? Oh, I thought you couldn't hear me. With the suspicion of deafness out, Bill could only think of one other explanation for the lack of a response. She isn't just ignoring me, is she? I see you also have a barman. So you must have an alias too, right? Mine's Bill. Well, it's Billiards, actually. What about you? Coffee. Oh! I'd let her wake me up in the morning. Good going, me. Coffee. Boy, your chin must be very chilly to keep it under a scarf. Coffee? Lime? Oh, can't tell who's speaking sometimes. Yo, Billy, my man, my dude, what's up? Came to see what you were up to. I see you've got a new friend. Hey, Houston, Earth to Billman. Lime waved enthusiastically at Coffee, but she didn't get anything more than a slight head. I bit my tongue. Ah! But she didn't get anything more than a slight head movement of unknown meaning in response. The others will want to meet you, so you two should come with me to the counter and beyond. Andiamo! And with that, Lime went back to the counter shouting, Hey guys, it's coffee time! What's with her? So, let's go? Without a word, the girl got up and headed to the counter. Bill did the same, following close behind. Oh, you're right. It turned on. See, my personal war with these gadgets has been long-standing. I'll mean this one's easy to use how they make them that way. Thanks, Apple. At the detriment of all of us. Not long ago, I bought one of these mobile telephones, you know? I'm slowly learning, though you can't ask too much of somebody my age. I only just recently got used to people of different nationalities. Oh boy. Fascinating. Forget your war stories and respond, geezer. What does it say on the screen? Let's take a look. Whoa, glasses on. Ah, this thing knows me well. It says vodka. Like the Uma Musume? You're saying you're one of them horse girls? Buddy, you need some lip balm. I was gonna say it's gonna be a little one, a vodka stinger. You know, if you level it up, it becomes a vodka $1 million. I sure drank lots and lots when I was a youngster. Together we'd make a great cocktail. No doubt, I can prepare it if you wish. Maybe later, but before we start drinking, it'd be nice to know why we're here. We should already have all the pseudonyms, no? The what? Still don't get why it says vodka here. This ain't a bottle. I can't drink it. That's your name for now. Unless you'd like to tell us your real one. I may be old, but I'm not dumb. If there's a code name, it must be for a reason. Trust me on this. Huh. Gramps doesn't fool around. Thanks. Well, now what? What is this for? As all of them had more or less introduced themselves, the big question reappeared. Yes, we need answers. Somebody brought us here against our will. It's a kidnapping. Kidnapping me? What for? I'd be the winning party as long as the kidnapper takes care of me. Getting me away from the friggin' wife, am I right? Having free access to this bar means everything's A-okay with me as far as I'm concerned. Especially because I don't have a friggin' wife with me. The old ball and chain. She's been dead for 6 years. Don't say things like that. I'm sure your family's very worried right now. Ah! Is your relationship with your family that bad? Huh? Is that a yes? According to my... No, not like this. According to my legende... Wait, is that... Okay, you are officially speaking multiple languages. That is, I'm pretty sure that's German. That looks like it. According to my Flegende Reckenkartoffel. Reckenkartoffel. I would quantify within a margin of error that mayhaps it is Shirley. Don't call me Shirley. I think she's lost it completely. That didn't take long. You can't lose what you've never had. That's my secret. Trademark. Don't steal it. I just want to know what sort of substance you're on. For research and preservation. Nothing illegal, officer. It's all natural, baby. Okay, so weed. This really isn't the right time for this. Again, this has to be a kidnapping, right? Somebody put us to sleep and locked us up in this abandoned bar. Silence filled the room for a few seconds. Although we understood that most of them had been awake for longer, it still felt strange they'd accepted it so rapidly. There was a piece missing, an important piece to understand the situation, and that was,
Pooh, it's me, Monokuma, here to tell you all about the killing game.
Cosmos's enigma. No, you got one thing wrong. That's what we assumed when we woke up. This is all what you'd expect in this some kind of scenario, if it's even something you can expect. And yet, well, it looks like we were captured and carried out here somehow. Poker looked at what seemed to be the only entrance and exit of the bar. We checked the door and it's open. We aren't locked up in here. Well, that's even scarier. However, that doesn't mean we can get outside. If we go out and explore, we run into locked doors. Okay, never mind. Wait, the bar's exit isn't locked, but you didn't go out? Some insisted in doing so, but I convinced them against it until all of us were awake. In a situation like this, being prudent is essential. And now that we're all here, it's time to see what awaits us outside this bar. Not even gonna let me have one sip before I leave? I can serve you a drink if you wish, but, not now. I'd like to get out of here as soon as possible. Well, go right ahead if you want. Nobody's gonna stop you. No, we must stay. It was then the conversation veered into a different path, one that had no way back. They all turned towards the new voice. Whoa, you should check the rules. Oh, this is a different UI. Coffee would remain invisible up to that point, gain the attention of everyone present, with her gaze still on the barman. What? The what? Oh, yeah, this thing contains something. Jin raised her barman high to call everyone's attention. Probably something related to our situation. We decided to wait until we were all together before checking anything. And another reason for why we choose to remain here. But somebody seems to have jumped the gun. Well, might as well check it before we go out, and see what are these so-called rules. I have a bad feeling about this. Alright. Uh-huh. With slightly shaky hands, Bill turned on the barman once more. Again, the presentation screen with the name Billiards appeared. He didn't want to follow instructions coming from such a suspicious device, but he wanted to find out what was going on. But if he wanted to find out what was going on, he had to touch the screen. Trying to calm down, he took a deep breath and... Ooh, look at the finger change. The game will not begin until all players have read the core rules. Until then, all other barman functions are locked. Link, messages, council, data rules. Okay. After touching the screen, the name disappeared and was replaced by a message. And indeed, there were several menus, though only the first one was unlocked. Rules. Deeper and deeper, the pit in Bill's stomach grew. But to find out what it all meant, he had no choice but to keep going down that hole. Oh, good heavens, that's a lot of rules. Okay, wait, okay. The rules appeared alongside a message on top of them. The welcome message from their kidnapper. Couldn't read it in time. I couldn't read it.
Welcome to the Golden Jack. You have been chosen to play a game. Your bodies have been poisoned.
Oh, great.
It's a slow poison. If you win the game, you will receive the antidote. If you want to come out alive, you'll have to partake. My motives are irrelevant to you. If you want revenge, first you'll have to win. From now on, you are chained to my rules, and you yourselves will become those rules. These rules will be your shackles,
Wait, what's called Rule Ripper.
but also your weapons. Break them, and you'll be set free. It's like you'll want to evade reality. This is a dream. This is a joke. This isn't for real. This is a YouTube video. This is done by Mr. Beast. My name is Jimmy Beast. You are free to think so. In an hour, you'll feel the first symptoms of the poison. It will be then you'll have to make a choice. Otherwise, it will be the end. Be strong. Find your allies. Defeat your enemies. And see what lies beyond. From the very bottom of my being, my way to good game. Mr. B. It's just a Mr. Beast thing.
The owner. Oh, yeah, that's all there. Okay. What are these rules, though? Okay. Players, I want to read them, please! Okay, well, everyone felt completely silent, staring at their screens. Some reading, while others still trying to understand what was happening. Players must take part in the game, following the rules. All players have been poisoned. The poison will take effect in 1 hour and 5 minutes from the start of the game, but after an hour, antidotes will delay death 1 hour will be distributed. Each player has a specific antidote, and others won't have an effect. If an antidote is broken, falls to the floor, or is drunk by the wrong player, be it accidental or deliberate, it will be replaced. Oh, okay, that's a really nice rule. If a player breaks a rule or is eliminated for any other reason, the player won't receive their antidote. The winners of the game shall be rewarded with an antidote that removes the poison permanently. Bill felt like he had become the only person in that room, like the entire world around him, except for those words, had stopped existing. Probably wasn't the only one who felt that way. Would anyone mind discussing this together? I think it would help. I think it would help understand the situation if we talked about it. Cocktail broke the silence with an appeasing tone, trying to keep that tension from going out of control. The world returned, and Bill was thrown out of his trance, not even remembering if he had been breathing. Poker frowned. The calmness he had shown until then was gone. In general, everyone seemed to have been affected to some degree. Yeah, sounds good. What do y'all think about this whole mess? I think we should read all the rules before we start talking. This is ridiculous. The door's open. I'm not taking part in this. It's like one of those horror games, but they left the door open. We can just leave, right? What's the point of kidnapping us if it's optional? Well, it doesn't read like it, but... No, we obviously don't have an option. Running away's out of the question. Why? The poison. Assuming it's real, it'll kill us if we set foot outside. Not if we look for help. If we manage to find a doctor or... If someone put in this much effort setting up this shit, assuming it's not some fucked up hidden camera prank, Mr. Beast! They'd be smart enough to make sure the poison's not easy to get rid of. What we saw before the exit door when we checked wasn't locked. Makes it clear as damn crystal. What's on the other side? A hallway. We're not getting out of here just by getting off this bar. And even though this door is open, the one leading outside might not. In fact, I bet it's not. Then there has to be windows in this building. I'm not very athletic, so maybe it's not the best idea, but if that's the only choice we have... As far as this bar is concerned, I've yet to see a single window around. Now, if we found any outside the bar, well, sure, that'd be an option, as long as we aren't too high up. Even if you were the world champion of Olympic jumping, you'd still die if you fell like 10 plus floors. Those of you that can climb walls superhero style would be in luck. Meanwhile, the rest of us mortals would be quite screwed. They couldn't be sure until they checked, although being too hopeful wasn't a good idea either. There's one detail that hadn't been brought up yet. It made perfect sense to not want to participate in a game after being placed there against their will, but they had already made that following the two assumptions. One, the poison was real, and two, and much more critically, that the game would be one they would not want to play. In other words, it wouldn't be an innocent game to enjoy and then simply leave after its conclusion. Not only because of the poison, anyone could tell what type of game it was. That was precisely the reason why the poison was needed to force them to play. Realizing both points, Bill immediately spoke up about the first. Wait, have we really been poisoned? As this clearly states, we can't really be sure for now. If we could do that, we'd just say fuck this game and focus on getting out of here. And that's the crux of the matter. If it's true, we have to wait an hour. I mean, one of us falls flat on the ground and it's confirmed as heck. Any doctors in the room? Poison expert required over here. Cold silence of the companions made Lime and Vodka aware that it wasn't the time for humor. The young woman and the old man shared a resigned look. Well, let's keep reading for the time being. Nothing wrong with that. We can worry about that poison nonsense later. Exactly. Let's look at all the cards before we play. Right? To play, a barman device is required, of which there is one for each player that can only be used by that player. Under no circumstances can a player intentionally look at the screen of another's barman while it's on, show their screen while it's turned on to another player, or break or perform any violent actions to any barman. That's interesting. Each player has a numbered rule associated with them, which only that player can break without any penalty or limit. Oh! We have a rule we're allowed to break. Oh! However, a link between two players allows the infringement of their linked partner's rule. Interesting. So there's rules they can't break, but you have a rule you're allowed to break. But if you link with someone, you're able to break that rule as well. Oh, interesting, yeah. Interesting. Now you want to play? Nah, but under less criminal circumstances, maybe I would. A game where each player plays with slightly different rules is a pretty appealing concept. Right, you have to follow all the rules except your own. That immediately gives each player unique advantages and disadvantages. It also mentions some link stuff. I'm guessing it'll come up later? How? How can they talk about these rules so naturally? What's wrong with them? But where's that rule screen at? It said it'll appear after this. We shouldn't rush. If a player dies, the associated rule will be removed from the game permanently. Oh, okay. I see, as I presumed. An incentive to eliminate others. The fewer there are, the more freedom for the remainders. Are you Kokichi? Is Vinny Vine Sauce a Kokichi archetype? Depending on what the rules are, the game could open up a lot. The way he spoke made it sound like a simple game. What that actually meant was clear. The second assumption they had made that it wasn't merely a game. But he had avoided using the words that at the moment were starting to turn taboo. Nobody could tell if he had done so knowingly or if in his head. Wait, let me try this again. Nobody could tell if he had done so knowingly or if in his head that really was just a game. At 15:2 of every hour, all players present in the Golden Jack will have to participate in a council where they can debate in order to find the rule number of the other players and use accusations to eliminate them. This is a dingle-rumple. Debates sounds intense. Well, basically, the goal is to find out the other's numbers and get them out of the game. Sounds easy enough. Yes, but remember, according to what we learned earlier, each number is associated with a rule. Then, indeed, with each elimination, the game can change drastically. I see, so those are the consequences for putting an end to a player. Dart's got several stares for a seemingly blasé attitude, though he didn't seem to care. No player can leave a council until it has been declared finished. To unveil the rule that each player possesses, help in the form of data, information, and the numbers that apply to it have been distributed among players, as well as hints hidden throughout the play area to connect the data with a player. And finally, the most important part, the last core rule of the game which confirmed their fears. The game will continue until 3 or less players remain alive. Until then, nobody can exit the building. That bar was in truth a jail cell, despite its door being unlocked. They hadn't seen what awaited them beyond the Golden Jack, but What should have been a cozy bar had been irrevocably changed. A shared cell that demanded sacrifices. And there it is. Didn't like a single bit how this was all written, but now there's no doubt.
A deathly game, eh? You're lucky to have me here, but you can get rid of me with no regrets. Enough years on my back. Or maybe I'm the lucky one. I got way fewer years of life at stake.
Not funny anymore.
I wasn't meant as a joke. At my age, it's hard to take anything seriously. When you reach it, you'll understand. If you do, that is.
The previous looks that darts had received were trivial next to what the old man received, albeit the feeling they gave off was different. It was a serious matter, and his dark humor could only dishearten them.
Alright, I admit that was too much. You don't need to listen to me. Put on some smiles, though. This isn't a funeral. Well, not yet, anyway.
Whatever you say, old fart.
Hey, I'm on Grandpa's side a bit. A sense of humor is important, especially in moments like these. Maybe not that sort of humor, though. Not my type, sorry.
At least the one behind this had great benevolence to let 3 of us survive. I'm sure they thought they were doing us a great favor. How generous of them. It was true that in such games, the worst case scenario was for only one person to retain their life, or none. That being said, they couldn't get their heads around who would both want to and be capable of running such a game. Bill wanted to say something, to throw out all the frustration that had taken a hold of him, but words didn't come out. What could he say to change the situation? Whoever's behind this shit must be really fucked in the head.
Yeah, right? And people call me weird.
Lime's intentions were well-meaning, though not effective. They were nothing more than a curtain trying to hide reality, to avoid panic and alleviate their minds. But they couldn't close their eyes for long. Bill took a deep breath and tried to calm down before speaking up. Then we have to play this no matter what? No. Finally, he sprung into action. Even though we're strangers, we shouldn't participate in something that involves killing each other. We can't. Tried not to think about it, the word kill spewed out of him as if he had been trying to get it out of his head. He didn't want to imagine how things would end up if the situation got out of hand. On the surface, the 9 people with him didn't seem dangerous. They were victims just like him. Some more peculiar than others. No one had the eyes of a killer, except maybe Darts. I don't trust him too much about this. At least, that's what he felt, and that's how he wanted it to remain. If our lives are in danger, our only option is to play. I won't lie down and wait for my death. I know, I'm not saying we should give up. It's the opposite. We have to survive, but we can't lose our humanity in the process. Unfortunately, those words stuck to his throat for a few moments, letting someone else intervene. Let's not get heated, please. We have yet to fully read all of that this game entails. Exactly, chill. We haven't even gotten to the rules yet. Last thing we need is to break one by accident. If we hadn't done that yet, of course. A chill ran through Bill's spine. It's far from the first. It's like, tell a dark joke. Uh-oh, sorry, Grandpa. A chill ran through Bill's spine. It was far from the first one. Perhaps it was the biggest one yet. Carried away by the events and his emotions, he'd forgotten something so obvious. Perhaps it hadn't even crossed his mind. Without any further delay, everyone touched their screens and the rules appeared. Okay. Secret objective. Accused. Oh no, the bad word. It was a list of 10 rules. A quick glance at them was enough to leave him breathless. Where he could calm down and read them, Bill heard their voices. So, ours is the one marked, yeah? Seems so. Yikes, this is way too much stuff vodka. Right, oh, yeah, this is all way too much at once. I needed to remind myself. Right, wait, the order changes? Oh, are we gonna order these for the numbers? Wait. Oh, Mama, oh, Papa, we goofed and we planked. What? What? I see. Bill looked at the list, but... Okay, let's see here. Okay. Do I not have one? What? Uh-oh. Huh? He didn't see any marks. What was supposed to indicate which was his rule? Did he have to ask the others? For some reason he couldn't bring himself to. Okay, let's look at some of these. Okay. A tap on the screen enlarged the rules. Yeah, I need to actually see these. I couldn't find any indication. Maybe his device was broken, or perhaps there was some meaning behind it. If that was the case, sharing it with everyone was dangerous, so it would put him at a disadvantage. Does that mean we just can't lose? As soon as he thought that, his mind slammed on the brakes. Had he just unconsciously and against his wishes, his brain had started to play the game? He couldn't erase those thoughts from his head. Better off not saying anything for now. Or anything else, I should read them. One by one, he read the 10 rules in the middle of that silence that had formed while everyone else did the same. All rules were notable in some way. However, 5 of them were especially important, the first 4 and the ninth. Oof, I'm lost as heck right now. Anyone got a recap? I believe it would be beneficial for all of us to discuss it openly. Right, it's important that we all understand what we're dealing with. The first rule seemed like a good summary. 1. Intended killing is forbidden, except with an accuser being the spy. Okay, so we can't just kill each other unless we're a spy. So we can't just go butcher someone, yeah? It's a good rule, it keeps us safe. More like it restricts the killer role to one person. The player in possession of that rule can break it without being eliminated. Don't forget it. Is it gonna shuffle each round? Oh! Several looks of suspicion flew across the room. Trying to calm things down, someone slightly changed the subject.
What's that talk about a spy? Are we back to the Cold War? Are these filthy Reds here?
We're already in the 21st century, Gramps. We're the Reds now. No! Good question, though. No clue what that's about. Oh, we have a spy. That's explained later on. What seems clear is that the easiest way for us to eliminate anyone is with these accusals. Exactly. Only one person can go the violent route, but if they die, that path becomes available to all of us. Oh, right! I forgot about that. Right. That'll just become free real estate. Everything was getting more and more bizarre by the second. A bunch of strangers were calmly talking about eliminating each other. Bill could not understand. Perhaps those people had been chosen for the game precisely because of their easy acceptance of it, but in that case, how was he included? But wait, if only one can kill, how is this game fair? Using accusations. It's explained in the council menu. Basically, if enough people know somebody's number, they can get an accusal started and vote them. If they get it right, that person's antidotes taken out. Then, let's say, for example, I start an accusation against 4. Everyone would get a message saying something like, "Number 4 is on the ropes, make them pay." That was way too lame. Forget the example, but that's not the important part. We would all get the memo, and they'd all write the name of the player we think has rule 4 in your case, like, for example, darts. Is that an accusation? No clue. Should it be? I don't think that. Channel your inner ki, people. Enter Nirvana with me. Let's go. 1, 2, y 3. Done. Calm now. I'm calm. Yep. We can just not vote, right? Yeah, abstaining. Blank vote. That could have consequences. As expected, if somebody's number was found out, their life would be put in danger. Okay, I think I'm getting it now. I got a question about the next one. 2, you must remain inside the Golden Jack. Golden Jack is this bar, right? That means someone can leave? Didn't you say you opened the door? Yes, but we didn't go out. It doesn't count, right? Right? Let's hope. Didn't even open it all the way. Nobody stepped outside. We should be safe. Waiting was the right call. Then we are trapped in here, man. All but one, to be precise. Let's hope they don't abandon us.
As long as they leave the drinks here, I'm good.
The other rules said we couldn't leave the building, so I doubt it. Maybe, but that person could go out, investigate, and tell us what they found.
That would reveal their rule, ergo their number. Nobody's that stupid.
All right, calm down, young man. It was an idea, that's all.
Sure, if someone wants to be the noble sacrifice, they're welcome.
Like I said, I doubt it. Relax, we can get to those things later. I think the third one is the most dangerous right now. Right now. In each council, one player will have to say their number publicly. Lying is allowed, but without repeating a number until all have been declared.
Oh, whoa! Whoa, that's a crazy rule!
Oh, good heavens. So you're allowed to lie about your number, to say, oh yeah, I have that number. But then someone else can... So if someone says your number, you're like... But then... Oh, shoot. If a lie is proven, the liar must declare their real number. The first two could be considered reasonable, in comparison anyways. Oh yeah, that one did get me good. They telling us to do some sacrificial rituals? That's a very extreme way to look at it, but I can't deny that's how it seems. It depends on what decides is a proven lie. So in essence, in each of these councils, one person has to take that risk so everyone can survive until all of us have done it after 10 hours. Still, how do they expect us to do it? Nobody will take that risk and we'll all break that rule. Then only the person holding that rule would be forgiven, which would make them the only survivor. We have to stop that. If we agree on an order and follow it.
Yeah, sure, good luck with that.
It's the only way to...
Be the first then.
He didn't know how to respond to that. Maybe he really had to be the first, so the rest would follow him, but even with that in mind, it was a hard call to make. It was a classic prisoner's dilemma. Someone had to take the risk for the well-being of others, but if nobody took it, all would be punished. All the voices stopped until... Number 4 is also important. Once again, she chimed in when everyone had already forgotten her presence. Oh, true. 4. If the game continues after 10 hours have passed, the players will have to end it immediately with their suicide.
A 10-hour time limit, essentially. And what a way to phrase it, man.
Oh, that makes sense. That way we aren't stuck here forever. That's only if we can get through Rule 3. In comparison, 4's isn't as imminent. Even so, we have to hurry. We have to find a way out. 10 hours should be enough time to investigate and find the exit. In the corner of the screen, as was standard, the time appeared. 25 minutes after midnight. When they had awakened, it had to have been 12 o'clock. At least that's how it seemed, but it was suspicious that they had woken up right as the day started. They didn't know how many hours had passed since their abduction, so any given time could be true. Or it could be just a timer, counting the time since the start of the game. As long as Rule 2 exists, we can't look for an exit. Those could be considered the 4 main rules. A player elimination method restriction, a spatial restriction, an hourly danger, and a time restriction. There was another imperative rule, however. Rule 9 also worries me. 9. Oh boy. Oh boy. At the start of every hour, each player will be assigned a secret objective that has to be completed before that hour ends without being discovered. Oh yeah, even more stuff, exactly what we needed. For real though, why play this when you have the elegant, simple games like good old rock, paper, scissors? What? All I'm saying is if they have to make us play something, at least make it simple, like paper, scissors, rock. Nothing beats scissors, rock, paper. Just gonna ignore all that stuff at the end. If rules go down with time, it makes it so complex. Otherwise, it might end up being more basic than rock, paper, scissors. I don't think I would go that far, but yes, I guess that makes some sense. So that's the recap, yeah? More or less, but read all of it later. At least don't be lazy. I want to read it as soon as possible. Okay. There's something really intriguing. Rule 10 mentions a spy mode, which appears in one of the menus, and only that rule can use it. But it doesn't seem to be explained anywhere. Oh my, the Spy Strikes Back Electric Boogaloo. That's true. The first one also mentioned a spy. Nobody seemed to have the answer for that mystery, so the conversation ended there.
My head hurts because of all this nonsense. Oh wait, it's the usual.
At least we can check them off whenever we want. Just check them out? Or check them, rather. There's a ton of stuff not cleared yet, but all that info should be in here too, I hope. With the doubts still in the air, those were the main rules. That was the game they had been shut in. He had to examine the other options inside the so-called barman in depth. He had to know his enemy well. That game. Oof, too complicated. So many numbers. Can't we play Una and leave it at that? I'm sorry. I don't have Una. I know it came with my Xbox, but...
Una.
Wait, you don't know Una?
I may be old, but I do know that much Spanish. Look, I can count. Una, deux, trois, etc., etc.
Molto bien, you passed. Okay?
Complaining is pointless. All the pieces have been laid on the board. Those who continue to look away will fall first.
The young man assigned the name Billiard saw things differently. Playing the game wasn't his priority, or even figuring out his number. That situation, typical of a horror movie, was a one-way road with a dead end, literally. They let fear carry them. They themselves would cause that end, and the criminal behind it all would be the winner. Who was the culprit? What were their motives? Why them? Those weren't the questions he wanted to solve. He wasn't a detective and had no plans to become one. They had a life to continue, waiting for them outside in the world they had lived in until then. A world full of hardships, but that, even in the worst of times, wasn't as sinister as the game in front of them. He would return, alive, and it wouldn't be alone or with any sacrifice. He wouldn't lower himself to becoming a murderer. They had to escape somehow. That was the only option before it was too late, before number one made a move. Luckily, only that person was an impending threat. However, while they were relatively safe as long as Rule 1 lived, that merely prolonged their lives for 10 hours. As long as Rule 4 existed, that was their limit. But what if that goes away? I didn't even think about that one. I'm still not so sure, but as long as the poison can be real, we have no choice but to follow the rules. And if we confirm it's real, we'll have to play. He looked all around at the faces of his alleged opponents. Some with a confident look, others with a confident grin, some confused, I'm confused, or not taking it seriously, I'm not taking it seriously. Others stared at the barman's screen, with sweat drops on their foreheads, or faces that wanted the screen to escape that place. What was each number thinking? Some could already be making plans. But even if they were strangers, he would not let anyone die. That's us, we're Ultima from Twitter. It would be beyond our rule ripper. I didn't read it, I was making a joke. Oh. Well, how nice. I'm going to save right there. Thank you very much. Oh. Whoa. 5 years passed since that day. The day his life completely changed and his search started. He wasn't looking for anything special, only something ordinary yet essential. A life. That was all. A life he could be proud of. One that could be remembered in his last moments, without any regrets. No, not even that. He didn't mind having some regrets. He was ready to make some mistakes as long as they were minor. There was no specific dream, no exact goal to reach, only a simple wish of happiness, like anyone would, but that was part of his wish. Part where he differed from everyone else, ironically, was his yearning to be a part of society, one of many, nobody special. With most desire individuality, he searched for a simple peace to reside in, a normal life. That didn't mean he had no ambitions. He wasn't looking for mediocrity, but he simply didn't need anything special. Many had laughed at him because of that, or had tried to change his mind. However, even though his dream was simple, ordinary, basic, and boring, his willpower to reach it had been clearer and stronger than anybody would have anticipated, even surprising himself. It had been 5 years since he started living alone, still a teenager. He still had a long way ahead. In many ways, nothing had changed in his last 4 years, unlike 6 years before when his life had changed completely. His life had slowly improved, and he got used to his new independent life. Until... Prologue. So are we going back in time now? Or is this... Was that before? Because it was like 25 minutes, right? Now there he was, at the bar. What is that? Is that a megastone? Hello? We got a map. Oh, huh? You can access profiles. You can also click on a drink to... That's good. I like that. What is that, though? Oh, is it... It's a pool ball, but it's meant to be like our location? That's interesting. Dude, this is stylish as hell. This is crazy. Oh, this reminds me of Danganronpa. So that's us. Billiards. Situation. Cells and processes. First of all, I should calm down. I'm not the most suitable person, but I do have 2 things in mind. Optimism and stubbornness. Time will tell if that's enough. Working behind the counter, despite all our bad luck. At least we've gotten lucky with a bartender with us. Still too soon to jump to conclusions. Okay. Standing around the counter. Seems to be full of himself, so he can make for a good group leader more than me. Choose not to play, he could be a strong ally. Otherwise, he'll be the opposite. Yeah. Oh, his hunch tight. His comments really rub me the wrong way. He needs to value his life more and take this seriously, as guarantees he won't be playing, but I could see him as a potential ally with troubling drawbacks. The game seems to have really affected her, maybe more than it did to me. Don't like to admit it, but I'm relieved to see someone acting like this in a normal way. Hope she falls down, or calms down, not falls down. Doesn't seem bothered by the game. On the one hand, I'm happy to see someone positive. On the other hand, it's worrying. We need to make sure to make this out alive. She can barely said anything. I'm not sure what to think. I can understand if it's simply because of fear, distrust, but if that leads to her playing, I'll talk to her. Need to build trust. He gives me bad vibes. I don't want to suspect anyone, but for now, I don't think I can trust him. He could try to win the game. I need to talk to him ASAP. Doesn't seem very friendly, but he's probably scared. Heading up here at his age is awful. I really can't hope he'll make a mistake he'll regret for his life. She doesn't seem very upset, but unlike others, I don't get the feeling she isn't taking it seriously. Combination is ideal for survival. Time will tell which path she'll take to get there. Okay. So again, we can at any point just click on the right one. Okay. Oh, I didn't even see that she's 6-inch heels. Good God, ma'am. Wowie. Okay. And again, we got... Okay, well, we can actually read the rules now, because I want to see what the other ones are. Right? Rules. Let's see here. So, okay, these are the regular ones, so rules. Okay, so what else we got? Okay, so immediately after a rule's death, the player with the number will have the option to swap it with the fallen one. That's interesting. We do have swapping. Okay. So if you're number 5, you can swap rules. Oh, wait, does that mean that we're number 5 maybe and we'll get a rule later? In an accusal, the person with the accused number will have to abstain from voting. If a majority is reached but the chosen player is incorrect, those who voted for the person won't be able to vote for them again. Wait, it's confusing, this one. So the person with the accused number will have to abstain from voting. So if a majority is reached but the chosen person is incorrect, those who vote for it won't be able to vote for them again. Okay. When data is revealed to others, no part can be omitted or faked, and each player can only unlock 1 data per hour. Okay. Messaging is only allowed to when responding to a received message requiring a coherent response in less than 10 minutes after being sent, unless counsel is underway. Whoa, coherent response in 10 minutes. That's interesting. At the start of a round, each player will be assigned a secret objective that has to be completed before the hour ends without being discovered. That's interesting if you have that one there. Clarifications. Any indirect conscious involvement in killing an accomplice is against the rules. Oh, here we go. Opening the exit is allowed but can't be crossed. Entering the bathroom is allowed but not the kitchen. Okay. The kitchen will be important then. If none of the players in the council yet to fulfill the steps if none of the players in the council yet to fulfill this rule steps forward, all present will be penalized. To prove that the number claimed is a lie, it has to be proven conclusively without a doubt. Time limit will be finished after the 10th council, but before the antidotes are provided. If a rule is swapped, the player will obtain the rule of the deceased and will remain for the game. Rule 5 won't disappear instead, and the swap won't be revealed. Data won't be changed. Okay. The ban to the accusers were involved. This feels like I'm reading a set of rules for a freaking board game, which is the worst part of it, but we'll get it as we go on. The ban to accusers includes abstaining as a way to add their vote to the majority. If accuse the player, they can't vote. If abstaining results in an incorrect accusation, the player will be banned. Revealing only applies to data that the other doesn't know. Faking includes entirely made-up data. If the data isn't in any barman but is correct, it'll be valid. Speculation is allowed as long as it's not going to be real. So these are clarifications for the numbers that are already there. If the response is considered valid, a warning will be displayed asking for another. During councils, 10-minute will be paused. Check objectives for more details. The link has to be manually broken with the barman before 1 hour. Wait, what's that? 10? Links can last a maximum of 1 hour, but can only be formed once for each pair. Okay. The link has to be broken manually with the barman before the 1 hour limit. Only one of the two players needs to break it without confirmation. Data. Nothing. Council. 15 minutes left for the next council. Records. Help. Councils can be carried out the last 15 minutes an hour. They work together. At any moment, the council member can pause to initiate an accusal. Okay. Messages. I got none. Make contact. I can't. Link. Link up. Wait. Am I the spy? Wait. Rules. No, core rules. Where's the spy mode? Where's spy mode? I need to find spy mode. I saw it there. Where was it? Rules. Or being the spy. Right? Which one was the spy? Oh no. Where was it? I know it was here, but I can't find it. Core rules. Where's spy? Spy? I'm looking for the word spy. I think we're the spy. Because we have spy mode. It's there. So we must be it, right? Again, just looking for that word. 3 or less players. Okay, it's not there. Killing is forbidden. So, okay, if we're the spy, that means we're allowed to do whatever, right? Well, we can... Right? Because then... Use of spy mode is not allowed. That's rule 10, though. So wait, maybe not? I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe I'm just stupid. Trying to calm down, Bill breathed deeply. In an instant, his life had changed completely, losing everything he had taken years to build up. He had managed to get out of the small world that had trapped him for almost all his life, to now having his life trapped again, in that bar, the Golden Jack, a world even smaller, emptier, almost bare of life. He had to escape that prison and recover his life. He wasn't planning on doing it, as his jailer intended. Some could see it as making an already difficult situation even worse. However, from his point of view, it was the only valid option. If he wanted to get back the life that had been taken from him, he had to keep his hands clean of blood. He wasn't particularly religious, so it wasn't about not tainting his soul with sin or even about avoiding jail. There was a much bigger, more important reason. He was simply incapable of killing. Before anything else, I propose we all investigate this place. Agreed. For now, let's have a truce. Exactly. We need to act. But be careful, everyone. Got it! Nobody said anything else, simply leaving in different directions. It wasn't fully clear if they had accepted the truce, though. Thankfully, only one of them had the power to break it. Most of them left pretty quickly, leaving only a handful at the counter. With nobody paying attention to him, Bill decided it was finally time to act. What are we doing? Didn't take long to find what he was looking for. Oh, that's the exit? Oh, I see. I was like, why is that colored in? I see. The exit. Or technically speaking, the entrance. The space that... This looks like Olive Garden. This really looks like Olive Garden to me. Can you imagine if this all just takes place in an Olive Garden? Dude, killing game in an Olive Garden would go so hard. Or technically speaking, the entrance. A space that appeared separate from the rest of the bar, walled off by blameless plants that made looking inside from the sides a difficult task. In front of it, on the floor, lay a welcome sign. Not very welcoming in their situation, though. So we can open it up, but we can't go through. Welcome to the Golden Jack. too. You must remain inside the gold jack. If that rule existed, it could only mean one thing. He stretched out his arm, grabbed the handle, and slightly pushed it. The door really wasn't closed. The only thing that stopped him from opening and leaving was that rule. Oddly enough, it opened outwards, which, is really bad because then the only way to look through, besides a small slit, would be to break the rule, right? Oddly enough, it opened outwards, a strange design choice for an entrance. Considering the game, though, no one would want to enter that bar, only exit from it. Perhaps that was why, without thinking about it, he had pushed it instead of pulling it. He gulped. His much desired escape was all within a small hand movement. Then what? Considering that someone with the ability to leave existed, it was a reasonable assumption that what lay beyond wasn't freedom. Not even number 2 could really escape the game. There was a big problem, an obstacle that anchored them to it. Your bodies had been poisoned. It's a slow poison. You win the game, you receive the antidote. They weren't sure if it was true, but that wasn't a threat they could ignore. As time passed, the likelihood of everything being fake was getting smaller, at least to him. There were only 2 realistic possibilities. Either everything was real, or a very cruel hidden camera TV program, Mr. Beast. And while he wanted to believe it was the second one, a TV program with a twisted sense of humor, kidnapping random people with no permission was unthinkable. No, I've seen Japanese TV, it's thinkable. But we're probably not in Japan, I don't think. It was clearly illegal, even if the poison was fake and every security measure was in place to prevent deaths. And if it was all true, if their captor had managed to prepare everything, obtaining the poison for everyone wouldn't be hard in comparison. In the end, he decided to push those thoughts to the side for now, and finally he opened the door. He barely opened it before closing it again, immediately taking a step back. He knew that the more he opened it, the more time he let it be open, the harder it'd be to resist the urge to leave. That much was enough. He had taken a look at the outside, and what he had seen was, without question, a hallway. In other words, as was to be expected, the bar's exit didn't lead to the outside. They were in some sort of building. We're in a mall, I bet. He'd get outside, even after breaking the rule that would forbid leaving. A chance existed to find the doctor that could save him from that poison. However, without knowing his own number, going out with the hope that he had the second rule was too big a risk. If he broke the rule, there'd be 1 hour max for the poison to take effect. In that time, maybe he could find the antidote or the exit to the building, but anyone would know that was impossible for one person that didn't know what or who was on the other side. For taking such a risk, it was best to make sure of a few things and gather some help. Finding a way to contact the outside or a straightforward way with no danger would be ideal. After a few moments, a decision was made. 2 hours. If the alternative wasn't found in that time, he would go through that door. There wasn't any reason for it to be 2 hours. It was a personal, self-imposed limit. If by then he hadn't had any luck, he probably wouldn't get some by waiting longer. In fact, maybe 1 hour was enough to check his chances there, especially considering that the worst case scenario could happen at any moment. Being there any longer than that was dangerous. For him, and for everyone else. Use the blue disc to change music. It's the song that gets me in trouble on YouTube! I love that song. I love that song, but for some reason, that song gets me killed on YouTube, even though it is public domain. That song, when put in to Witch on the Holy Night, every time I had to remove it, which was crazy because it's public domain. For now, I should investigate a little and talk to the others. But where to go first? Right-click on the billiard ball to choose... No, shut up. What? Wait. Are you serious? Oh, that's cool. Let's go with the piano. Wait, shut up. That is cool. That is such a cool map system. Holy shit. Wow. What do we got? Lao, art for Norman Foster contemporary, move in norm. Okay. Bill moved to the area where the piano lay. It wasn't too far from the counter, which seemed to be the entrance to the bar. A black wall piano stood out among the rest of the furnishing. He didn't know much about the instruments, but assumed it was worth a good amount. It wasn't the only item of value there either. Standing at the opposite wall was a jukebox, clearly quite old and well maintained, a rarity in the modern era. It looks pretty clean for its age, like it's brand new. Clearly, this bar isn't actually abandoned. Next to it was a cigarette machine that Cigar mentioned before. And speaking of Cigar, the woman was right there, looking through the jukebox's song selection. She wasn't the only one around. Oh, the music changed automatically? Wait, that's good. Wasn't the only one around. The kid who received the name Piano had seemingly caught interest in the book collection around the instrument with his name. Any good tune? Yes, but I doubt you know any. Quite aged by now. As expected from a jukebox. Exactly. It's been a while since I last saw one. Must be pretty valuable. And this bar has to be quite old too, right? Not necessarily, but this thing, no doubt. And how about you, Piano? What's in there? I don't see anything special. It's mostly only musical scores. But there's also philosophy books and other stuff. You know, light reading for a bar. Anything you could think could be relevant? Supposedly there were hints, informations about them and their numbers hidden throughout the bar. But they would have to search every nook and cranny to find them. It was actually possible that someone had found something already and was hiding it. But that didn't matter to Bill. Hints were only useful to win the game and he had no intention of surviving that way. Not sure. There could be information in some of them. There's a lot, though. Finding something won't be easy. Huh. Piano. Any title catching your attention? Well... There's this one with a green-masked sorcerer on the edge of a cliff on the cover that looks cool. I don't think that one will help us How about this one? Metaphysics sounds important. What's that? Oh, that's too complicated, not for your age. Age? I'm young, not stupid. Actually, it's not much about the age. I wouldn't get it either. Sorry to interrupt, but are you really looking for hints? Well, yeah, we have to find out who has the dangerous rules like 1 in 4. Right, those are dangerous, but killing them isn't the answer. We aren't looking for hints specifically. We know nothing of this place, and there could be something helpful hidden around. Or at least something to figure out who put all this together or where we are. Okay, on that I agree. Whatevs. Piano didn't seem to be willing to abandon the search for hints, but couldn't deny what Bill was saying either. Also, the hints seemed to have personal information about us. We'd be invading the other's privacy. That gives me the creeps, just thinking they could really know things about us. We have to work together to escape this place. Antagonizing each other won't lead to anything good. Oh, this darn game also allows for allies. Have you looked at the links section? Didn't mean that type of alliance. Yes, I know, but it reminded me of that. If 2 players' numbers are added up to 10, they... Oh, wait, they have to add up to 10? Oh, I didn't get that. I thought it could be anyone. Oh. Wait. Did I miss that at some point? I think I might have missed that at some point. I think I totally missed that. Where's the link? 4 rules. Let's see here. So, a link... I didn't see that the link had to add up to 10. Oh, it just says right there, okay. If their numbers add up to 10. Oh, that's so confusing still. I mean, that means there's only certain links that can happen, which I guess is good, because otherwise some link combos can probably break the game. So yeah, you can break your companion's rule if you add up. That wasn't the type of bond that Bill was looking for. Links could only lead to pairs fighting one another. Isn't that very limited, having to add up to 10? I'd say. And the ones with 5 and 10 can't do it. So it does seem a bit badly designed. That's one thing I don't understand. Isn't 10 about links, and they can't link with anyone? Rule 10 was another restriction. Links can only be done once and lasted 1 hour at most. Limitations that the person with the rule didn't have, but couldn't benefit from. However, it also had the power of the spy mode, a mysterious function that could make up for it. On the other hand, Rule 5 was a whole... or we're 10 then, we must be. Rule 5 was a whole other story. Let's keep looking, there has to be something. Okay, fine, but if you find a hint, hide it so nobody gets in danger. Sure. Yano didn't sound convinced, but Bill felt that insisting would make it worse. I have an eye on him. He concluded the conversation and left. His investigation had to continue. There was still places left to check. His next destination would be... Alright, where's next? Whoop! I pressed the button too fast, I guess. Let's go... Go here. Dude, what a cool menu, holy shit. Bill headed to the counter. Not too far from it, between the entrance and the counter, there was a billiard table. Maybe it was because of the name he'd been given, but it was the first thing he noticed. A game he had never tried. Why was he billiards? Could be that the names were given at random, but some seemed to fit, or so he thought. There really wasn't any rule forbidding them from saying their real names or force them to use names. What? Wait. Billiard? Billiard? What's the special number? What's the special number for billiards? 8. 8 is the special number, right? The 8 ball. Maybe. Maybe that spy mode is not a clickable button. Right? There wasn't any rule forbidding them from saying their real names or force them to use those nicknames. Nobody seemed willing to give their name in that situation, and it was quicker to use nicknames they'd been given rather than thinking up new ones. While he had no idea of the reason behind his own, he wasn't against it. Bill was a short name, easy to remember, and ordinary. Nothing wrong with it. Billiards, pool, think about it, it's also a game where numbers are important, right? They want us, numbered players, to eliminate each other. Just like how you eliminate numbered balls in a certain order. Well, okay, why? Just say the theme, why don't you? I might be overthinking a pretty dumb metaphor. No! It's brilliant! Might be overthinking a pretty dumb metaphor, but now that I can't get that thought out of my head. A mental image has been born inside billiards. What? Huh? What the frick are these? You can now access the Dropbook. Wait, what? What is that? What is the drop pocket? Oh my god, that's so cool. Wait, that's really good. Wait, that's really good. Would you fancy a drink? Someone addressed him from the counter. The man with the nickname Cocktail had put himself behind it, and before him were the men named Darts and Poker. Poker was drinking, while Darts seemed more focused on his barman. He approached them. Oh, it's so cool! I'm gonna think it's cool every time. Right now, I'm not... Wait, is drinking here safe? A concern suddenly struck him. They were in some unknown bar, basically having been kidnapped. Could they trust that the drinks weren't dangerous? They could be a trap. I can't say it with total confidence, but I do believe we can drink without fear. After all, we have already been poisoned as part of this game, supposedly. I don't see a good reason why they would poison us again or put any dangerous substance in these bottles. The only dangerous substance I see here is Corona, because that stuff will kill you, because it's bad. That's a joke about Corona being bad. It's just nasty. Exactly. We'll find out for sure soon anyways. Moreover, the drinks seem to be in good condition, on top of being an exquisite selection. If there's something I can't fault this owner for, it's their good taste in beverages. I even found a bottle of Taste of Vices, the legendary wine said to have an otherworldly taste, but one with only those of a divine palate can enjoy. Oh, that's me, I could do that. Lily knew a lot about the subject. On the topic of nicknames that fit perfectly, that was probably the best example. They had only just been put in the state of affairs, yet Cocktail was serving drinks in the most natural way possible. His ease, his way of talking, his ability to serve drinks, and his expertise, all signs pointed to him being a bartender, or something of the sort, and he had no intention of hiding it. Perhaps that was his way of calming down in that situation, to act as if he was working. I believe we can apply that to this place as a whole. This is not an abandoned bar. So red. Yo, darts reaching the target. Oh my god, it gives you character themes. Oh, it's so good. Red is mandatory music, blue is free choosing. That's so cool. The one behind all this, its organizer, has to be the owner. Any statements you want to make? To be fair, I thought you were the guy in charge. It kind of feels like it. Are you by any chance accusing me of something? Now, that would be too obvious, but if you are as much an expert as you seem to be, it's possible you know this bar. I'm afraid not. A shame. After a small pause, he lifted his gaze from his barman and... What's the best place to hide a tree? And immediately went back to his screen. What? The best place to hide a tree? In a forest? Is that what he's saying? I see. I won't get bored, that's for sure. Barman, another one. Wait, maybe barman is the best way to call you. Could get confusing. Oh, right away. As for my name, Cocktail is probably the best option. Getting out of his little daze, Cocktail served him another glass. A tree. Darts was implying something that everyone there seemed to have understood. Cocktail wasn't amused at all, but tried to hide it, showing his professionalism. Poker was the other way around, grinning, getting some fun from it. In that situation, how could anyone smile? Not just poker. Darts appeared to be getting some enjoyment out of it. How could someone be playing detective with their life on the line? Couldn't believe it. Gonna double check here. There's death rule swap. Have to say their name publicly. Links for an hour. Data is revealed. Nothing could be omitted or faked. Messaging is only allowed when responding, requiring a coherent response. Response is not valid. A warning will be displayed asking for another. So then, I'm confused on who can start that then. Interesting. Wrong button. Okay. And not just poker. Darts also seem to be getting some enjoyment. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Maybe it's all a hidden camera prank, right? They're probably thinking that. Even though he wanted to believe it, hoping that it would all go well, he couldn't. He had to assume the worst case scenario and act upon it. Something made him do it. Something. Are you feeling all right? Oh, yes. Well, no, not really. I was just thinking, though. Oh, I see. You hadn't come to terms with this yet. Well, yeah. Same here. Did you all check out this thing's secrets? Poker raised his barman. Unfortunately, attending this counter has occupied me in my time for now, so I wasn't able to. Well, here's something good. This owner isn't completely the worst. Huh? What's good about any of this? The objectives. You know the thing mentioned in Rule 9? We don't have one in this first hour, so we can chill. Are you sure about that? We might not have any, but we can't just simply lie back. For starters, we have new data every hour. Oh, that. Yeah, I saw that. Now that you mention it, I didn't. Due to Rule 7, they could only unlock one data per hour. He still wasn't quite sure what it meant by data, but the best way to find out was to see one. That appeared to be the main component of that game, making use of information to deduce the numbers of others to then purge them. He didn't want to take part in it, especially if there was personal info about the others. Though it was a potential way to discover his own number, still unknown to him for some reason, he refused. Although, was there really information about them? Having their privacy invaded on top of kidnapping wasn't surprising anyone, but hurt nonetheless. With resignation, he opened the data menu. It was a simple numbered list, which could be opened in any order. According to the rules, they could only unlock one data per hour. However, the one in possession of Rule 7 could ignore that limitation. As there was no indication of its contents that could guide him, he simply decided to start with number 1. 1579 likes black coffee. She looks white to me. Something ordinary and harmless, while at the same time disturbing. How did their captor know about their taste in coffee? Instinctively, he sneaked a glance at a counter. He felt bad about it right away, as nobody was drinking coffee at the time. Assuming this is true, I don't have any of those 4 rules. Oh, you don't like it. Okay, so we don't have... Okay, wait. We're too bitter for his taste. So we're not 1. Killing... Okay. We can't kill. Good. 5. We can't swap. Oh. Okay. When data is revealed, no part can be omitted or faked. We can't fake data. That sucks. Okay. We're not this one. So that means we will have to do an objective. Okay. Too bitter for his taste. He sighed in relief. Of the 10 possible rules he could possess, 4 were now out of consideration. That relief didn't last long as he realized what it meant. Not having Rule 1 meant someone else from the 9 people had it, someone with the right to kill. As for number 5, it was the wild card rule, which could be swapped with the dying one. As he wanted to avoid any death, it wasn't of any interest to him. Not having Rule 7 meant that someone else's access to a large amount of information from the start to freely use. Lastly, 9 meant that he had to take objectives he'd received seriously. Though there was one piece of good news. The chance of his being Rule 2 hadn't gone away, so he could get out and look for help. And number 7 could grab all their data straight off. That's a huge advantage. That's a crazy advantage, honestly. True, very true. Likely the most dangerous player at the start. While I'm at it, I'll check the objectives too. No objectives are distributed in the first hour. Okay. Like Poker had mentioned, there was no objective. Even so, he took a look at help. There are 5 objectives. I'll be... Okay, there's specific ones. Inside, he found a list of all possible objectives he could receive. So these are like your roles in like a Secret Hitler sort of game, right? Right. Among them, Spy, the objective mentioned in 1. Okay. So Spy is not a set thing. It's a distributed thing. Only after the 6th hour, discover the secret objective of one player and publicly reveal it. If you're correct, it won't count as revealing your objective. Oh. So you have to do that. That, and the accusations were the only way to kill for those who didn't have Rule 1. It's more complicated. It was an obligation to kill in order with 9, yeah. Did it have any relation to the spy mode exclusive to number 10 in the link menu? That player alone could know the answer. The other objectives could also be a danger, but that was the biggest threat posed by the continued survival of Rule 9. His barman away and got up. Darts is right. Even without an objective, we can't waste any time. He says that, yet he's still sitting there. Yes, but not getting drunk. First things first, and first priority is getting my head cleared. By getting drunk, right. No, I'm not going to drink that much, just a little bit. Then I would advise you stop soon. Yes, and I'll go search around some more. Have fun. He left, heading somewhere else. There were still places left to check. His next destination would be... Alright. Let's go up. Oh, this is the sitting area we were at before. Okay. Bill went down the... it looked up, but it's down. Bill went down the steps to the lower section of the bar where he'd woken up. The area looked like an extension so the bar could have more clients. On the other side, he could see a table bigger than the others. And between him and it, on the other side of the small tables, were Lime and Jin having a chat. Lime literally sitting on the table while Jin was in a chair. Bill, oh my, get your Oshiri over here. Yaku! That means but, and that means fast. What? Her wide smile didn't come off as very trustworthy, yet he didn't sense any ill will from her. What sort of education did your parents give you? No Nipponese? Well, not exactly something your parents teach you, is it? Maybe if your parents are my parents. It's not a joke. My parents met when they were at Halloween, and my mom was dressed as a geisha, and my dad was dressed as a ninja.
And my grandparents have a Oriental room, which was all Japan style, which they got after they received the key to the city for Kyoto. I wish I was joking. No one's gonna believe me. I'm not joking. Anyways. Nani? It was still too soon, too daring to try unraveling the enigma that was this girl, but her intense vibes were completely different from those he felt from the others. Was he being too trustful? Perhaps he couldn't say with complete confidence that no one there would, out of nowhere, stab him in the back at any time. When it came to Lime, I don't think she's even thinking about the game. Bill went up to the table and sat down with them. Any luck over here? Did you find out anything? Tables and chairs. Ooh, nightclub reds. Nice. Bill, my boy, it's lamentable to say, but we found nothing useful. As a wise man once said, if you want to be richer, don't go looking for gold, let the gold find you. For the love of God, Lime. What? That was unacceptable. What in the world is wrong with these two? And if that was enough, they even gave us a texting app, but don't let us use it. Huh? Where'd that come from? You know the message app thingy in these tablets? If we could at least use it, the whole thing would be at least a teeny bit less awful. The messages are only for us. I highly doubt we can send them to the people outside. You sure? No, trust me, I'm very sure. It's explained on the damn thing. Only numbers, aka us. The intriguing bit is that apparently it shows off our numbers, but not our names. Oh! Oh, that means our... Oh, that's interesting. Only the 8 can send them, right? Not quite. It's the only one that can start a chat and continue it. We have to answer if talked to. Then what the Helsinki are we waiting for? Jeez Louise. Don't worry, dear. I'm sure they'll send the marriage proposal soon. Oh my. Anyways, let's leave that aside. Bill, what's your view on things? What things? You know, the situation. Any idea what all this is about? To be honest, I'm still pretty lost. Still? If you remain still, you're never going to be lost, dude. That's not... Wait. Huh, that's not what I meant? I'm still thinking, but I won't give up until I find a way to solve this. You keep thinking forever, doesn't that mean you're gonna find... that doesn't mean you're gonna find something. Or what? Are you one of those idiots that think that simply having hope they'll be saved? Not sure how to respond to that. Personally, I'd say he's the type of guy who called ladders step ladders. That's an Ace Attorney reference, and I know it is because in the email, which, by the way, thank you very much, Emi Yukido, for the lovely personalized email. I love it when I get when I get sent an email that says hello, and I literally mean it. It says YouTuber Tanner or something. It's like YouTuber Tanner of the North. Like when I get those ones that are clearly copy pasted, or worse, it just says hello YouTuber or hello insert name here. I get those on. I get wrong YouTuber names sometimes. It doesn't feel the same, but a personalized email, it hits so well. Anyways, yeah, in the email it said inspired by Ace Attorney 2, which yeah, I get that. Deja vu, that sounds oddly familiar. You're right. You're right. But regardless, I guess Ginger's right. Ginger? I'd say it's more red, but... This mess seems pretty damn complex, my dudes. If you want to get out of it, we're gonna need to do some actual galaxy brain planning. But if we don't at least try, we're never gonna get anywhere. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Bill, it's not about getting anywhere. But about getting allwhere. Always. What? Lame, dear. I think you just covered all dictionaries in existence in your slime. What would you know? Are you the real epitome of Ingrid? What? I think I'll go look somewhere else. Good idea, same.
Bill went back up the stairs to the main section of the bar. All right, let's check where we're going next. I guess we're going here. I will never stop thinking it's so cool. There's an aquarium! There's Nemo. There's Dory. There's okay, this is gonna sound so weird. I love the fact that they are just like PNGs of fish because it really hits me like Danganronpa. Anyways, what is here? Italian menu. Alton and Athena. Cecile, Paula, Lunaria, Protag, Antlion? Huh. He decided to make his way to the area with a large fish tank. In addition to the tank, there were tables and sofas, and among them, a person. The young woman known as Coffee, who wasn't deaf, nor black. She was investigating alone, to no surprise from him, even after meeting her for the first time. Even barely after, yeah. One needn't be a private detective to clue in the likely fact that she wasn't the most sociable person there, and being trapped there with people she didn't know wouldn't help, and yet... Is it because things are the way they are that we should help? It's because things are the way they are that we should help each other out. We can't get through this all alone. He had to earn everyone's trust, and of course he was willing to trust them in return, but it shouldn't be blind faith. They had to talk, know each other, and understand each other. Stand together as victims of the same crime. Unfortunately, getting to a mutual understanding with others had never been his forte, so he had to give it his all to make it happen. And that young woman, Coffee, there's so many songs. That young woman, Coffee, could potentially be one of the biggest obstacles on the way there, one he had to overcome to achieve the joint alliance he desired. What should I say to her? How should I act? Casual? Serious? Last time went awful. I guess a different approach would make the most sense, but... No, to make her open up to us, I have to prove to her I don't have any bad intentions. I need to be friendly. It's the most natural way, and acting differently now would make me look suspicious. Am I overthinking it? Not like I'm trying to flirt with her. I'm not even looking for friendship, just... Realizing he had to stop there, he gave himself a small whack to the head. He didn't have enough time to waste deep in thought. In just a few hours, the danger would turn unavoidably lethal. It was time to act. He approached her with determination while she kept looking around the place, seemingly completely oblivious to his presence, even after having stood there for a couple minutes and... Coffee? Distant rose. She looked at him for a moment, once again confirming she wasn't deaf, and with no response went back to what she was doing. Did I screw up again already? What did I do wrong? She doesn't have anything against me, does she? No, it made sense. In fact, as much as he didn't want to admit it, behaving otherwise was the strange way to act. Each person had a different reaction to a stress situation like that one. Still, some seem to have gotten too comfortable too quickly. Perhaps even himself. In fact, maybe he was the one acting the strangest. Her decision to only talk when necessary and keep everyone away was probably the safest and most logical approach. And at the same time, it was slightly worrying. Isolation could put her in danger. Slightly concerned, he went up to her. Hey, want me to help? For a moment, he smiled just from the simple fact that he had received an answer, but the smile disappeared as soon as he understood what she said. I understand that you don't trust me, but we should help each other out to survive. Did she say something? Oh, she said no. I missed that. The others could see you as suspicious if you keep your distance too much, and... So what? Her words caught Bill by surprise, leaving his mind blank for a moment. Well, that could be... dangerous? I can take care of my own. Go somewhere else. Total rejection. Her straightforward answers left no room for comebacks, and insisting on it would most likely only have the opposite effect. He hadn't expected making a joint alliance was going to be easy, but things were going much worse than he anticipated. Even so, he had no intentions of backing down. He considered his inability to do so as his one and only gift, so he had to make good use of it. Now was the time to act. If the group shattered from the start, it would all go from bad to worse. The only thing that could lead to was a tragedy. Well, I guess. I just want to make it clear that we shouldn't see each other as enemies. We can't let this game influence us. Do you prefer all of us dying together? No. We have to escape together, every one of us. Sure. Sure? What's that supposed to mean? I thought she was looking for a way out, but you aren't going to join this madness, are you? Not silence again. Who knows? No doubt left. He did not know how to deal with that person. At least she hadn't said yes. Did he consider that a partial win? Let's just go for now. I want to read that menu. There might be juicy lore or funny cameos on there. He lost the battle, but not the war. He left the area to coffee and went back to the way he came. Okay. Next destination is... Oh, there's only one left. Whatever. Is this a stage? What is this?
Oh, in the bathroom.
He wasn't expecting to find much, but he thought he might as well check the bathrooms. Always check the bathroom. Checking the bathroom at 4 a.m. At least, the one he could enter without feeling bad. The other one would have to be taken care of by the women. And while he was at it... Just as he was about to enter, the old man with the alias Vodka came out. Both of them reacted in time, stopping.
We almost ran into each other, young man.
Throw back your cares? That's good. Excuse me, I'll be more careful. Did you look into it?
What, a restroom? When you reach my age, it's become sacred grounds. One day you'll understand, young one. That's assuming we get out of here, of course. Don't give me that face. I was born pessimistic, and it's only gotten worse with time. Thankfully, this doesn't seem like it will last for more than a day, so we'll know our fate soon enough. It also means we won't have any food issues. Now, that would be hell, let me tell you.
I still don't have a plan, but we'll look for a way out. Oh, this is a... The first part was a little slow, but the rest is kind of... Ooh, old man, you got some secret jazz in you. I like it. Still don't have a plan. I'll look for a way out without losing lives.
An idealist, I see. That's a spark of youth. Good for you. Certainly, a happy ending would be ideal, but if we do end up having to play this ghoulish game where only 3 can survive... well, I think we can all agree on one thing. Those who have more life ahead of them should have priority when it comes to surviving.
Vodka was right, but that didn't change how hard it was to hear. He didn't know how old he could be, but even if he was more than 80 years, it still wouldn't be very pleasant for him to simply imply he would be a sacrifice.
Here comes the face again. Should you really be worrying so much about me? I'm just some old fart. Surely the reason I'm here is just because I'm an easy target.
No! That sudden howl caught Vodka off guard, and it surprised Bill himself. Age doesn't take away of life's value. Killing's off the table, but you can't be killed either.
I'm not looking for my death either. If I was, I would have already screamed my number aloud. I simply don't have the energy, nor motivation to play this game seriously. Moreover, if number 1 came at me armed, I wouldn't have the strength to protect myself.
In that case, I'll protect you.
Huh? I don't think you'd make for a very good bodyguard, to be honest. I won't stop you if you keep insisting on taking care of me like a nanny, but I insist it's not necessary. I understand that you would feel bad if anybody died. So you said it's not pretty to see a body, or worse, smell it.
You know what a dead body smells like?
I can take care of my own.
That's not what you said earlier.
You fancy yourself a lawyer now? Looking for contradictions? Like some kind of Phoenix Wright? Ace Attorney? Do whatever you want to do, as long as you don't let me be a weight on your shoulders. If you died protecting me, that wouldn't make me a very happy either, you see?
Understood.
Very good. Appreciate the enthusiasm. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not a priority. Hopefully we'll find a way to survive, and this whole game will be water under the bridge. Yes, I'll search here. Maybe there's something that can help us. Like what?
The poison is the reason we're trapped here, but the antidotes have to be somewhere. Find a way to get to them.
I suppose, yes. It won't be in the restroom, though.
Probably not, but maybe there's a
Secret passage in the bathroom. That's crazy talk.
maybe there's a secret passage that leads to the antidotes or outside. If we have the poison, we can get to a hospital in time, we could be saved. He was clearly improvising. He needed to convince himself that there was hope.
I don't want to be the party pooper, but after doing my business, I did do a quick check for anything interesting and came out empty-handed. Except for my poop. I took it out with my bare hands, boy. You never know what'll happen when you're gonna need it.
We go in there and we see it's like number one's using the poop knife.
No secret door on the outside to speak of, sorry to say. Unless I happen to miss it. So be my guest. Try your luck with that optimism of yours.
If it was a secret door, it would be well hidden, but so maybe by searching thoroughly.
There it is. Anyway, I'll leave you to it.
Vodka left, and Bill proceeded with his search. Dang, that is a normal bathroom. And by normal, I mean it's not like one of those American bathrooms where there's giant, like, holes in the stalls so you can see inside. What's up with that, America? You're weird. No secret door appeared, nor anything of value. Yo, guys! Bill heard a shout coming from somewhere else in the bar. I assume it's, yeah, the voice was. Check the time! The time. 40. Bill looked at his barman. Uh, let's say 12:40. Took him a moment to realize what that meant. As a light bulb had turned on his head, he remembered that as part of the rules. To be precise, the core rules. 45. We'll have to participate in a council where they debate in order to find the rule. Yeah, right? Okay. Which meant that there were 5 minutes left. If they didn't carry it out, they would break the rules, resulting in... And the second he did, lights started beeping, an alarm. Quickly, he rushed to the center of the bar, expecting to find everyone there. It was so cool. The rest had the same thought. Upon arrival, half of them were already there. Hey, Billy! The young woman greeted him enthusiastically. She had been the one shouting earlier. It seemed weird to him that, of all people, she was the one who noticed that they had to move. Or at least, the first one to warn everyone. If someone forgot the rules and didn't join the council, their fate would be sealed. It was good to see that at least one person there seemed to care for everyone's well-being. As soon as someone decided to play seriously trying to win, everything would change. In that calm before the storm, with the game still in its early stage, they had to familiarize themselves with it as fast as possible, prepare for the worst. Only a few minutes left. Got a debate, we need to look for a suitable place. Being together isn't good enough? What are we going to debate even? We still don't have much information, but we need to fulfill Rule 3 to survive. Someone has to give out their number. Yeah, well, more like lie about your number. And if the lie is proven, that person will have to reveal their real number. Dude, that little ding 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 ding, that's very Ace Attorney. Right? Very. They all knew the consequences, but someone had to take that risk so everyone could survive one more hour. Playing the game was out of the question for him. Most likely none of them wanted to seriously do it, yet maybe they all would. All but him. He cared for his life, of course, but he would never approve of that sickening game. So as long as he could, he would rebel against it. I think we need to agree on one thing. Time had come, while everyone was still trying to wrap their heads around the game. For starters, killing wasn't an easy matter for the time being. Only number one could do so directly. Only other way to do it was using the spy rule, the objective that actually forced to kill by revealing someone's secret objective. However, according to the explanation of the barman, it wouldn't appear until the 6th hour. So the only way they had to remove someone at that point was to figure out their number and convince a majority to accuse them. It needed time and preparation to succeed, meaning that it was the perfect time to act, maybe even the only one. He had to use it to create a peaceful deal with everyone, to prolong their lives as much as possible. Hmm? What's that, Billy boy? We wants their number revealed, but we need to give one fake number per hour until we've all done it. So we should agree on an order and promise not to point out the other's lies. We need to work together to get past Rule 3 without putting at risk our own number. Everyone there looked around, uncomfortable. At that moment, the rest arrived, Vodka being the last one, moving at his own pace. Go on, Gramps. Yes, you can.
Don't force these old gears. Time doesn't wait.
No, and in fact, we're almost out of time. What Bill offers would be fair. We will have to talk about it during the council.
So where do we sit?
Rules don't say anything on that, so I guess it's whatever.
How about that counter?
A little hard to see each other if we're all lined up. Yeah, one of the tables would be better. Oh, light bulb's on! Let's do it on the table. What? Let's do it on the table.
Oh, please, no ads. I'm not paying no matter what extras it has. Or if you selling me two for the price of one.
I think she means the big table down the stairs.
Sure, seems like a good spot.
Although, will it be big enough for all of us?
Only one way to find out.
Boink. Dude, I love every time I'm like, what a cool way to show. Oh, it's so cool. Okay, listen, the only way that could be cooler is if, like, okay, in this first mission, it's like, you know, you click and you go to it. But like, if you go to like the other missions and it's like, all right, now you actually have to aim and you do like a little like golf mini game to go where you have to go. And like whatever quadrant you go to, if you miss, it's over. I'm gonna say probably not. I don't think this is running in like Ren P, but it's obviously like a visual novel sort of thing. I have no idea how this is programmed because it's really cool, but I highly doubt there's a way to just you know, do a free flowing sort of thing like that, but maybe I'm wrong. One by one, they walked down the steps to the lower part of the bar, gathering around the big table. As seats, they borrowed some nearby chairs and sofas. Yo, I want to sit there. Looks comfy. C'est magnifique. That's a big zoom in. Where did that puff come from? Don't even think about taking it. It's mine. That doesn't answer my question. Unless it's literally yours and you had it hidden somewhere somehow, but I don't think that's it. You underestimate my power. What? Don't listen to her. We found it lying around here and she's been craving to use it ever since. And I brought one of those counter's tall stools for piano. I don't need that. You'll be too tiny with one of those chairs. I'm not tiny. But you want to be taller, right? Silently, he sat on the stool. The seats were being filled. Bill had decided which to take. Perhaps noticing his indecision, Jin looked at him and pointed at the empty space on the sofa she was sitting on. The offer was too cozy to pass up. I'm sitting with a girl on a sofa. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Once they sat down, everything was ready. Just in time.
So, now what? Excuse me if I'm a tad slow, but I still barely have a clue.
Not alone there, Gramps. At that moment, the awaited time arrived. All barmans turned on with a new message. Is squeaking a word? Your participation in the council is required until its closer. Close proximity barmans detected. All start requirements cleared. Council menu will be available during its course. The message won't be repeated in future ones. Okay. Accusal, request, and help records. Where they arrived themselves, it started. The first council. Squeaking? Still thinking about that word. Squeaking. These songs don't have to be real words. Oh, hello. Dang. Title drop. All right. That's 5. I don't know why I thought that'd be 2. That's fine. Come on, spit it all out. What exactly? I don't know anything. Not anything. According to the rules, we debate using the data we have, and one person must fulfill Rule 3. I believe that last part should take priority. Anyone willing? Like I said before. Yes, we should consider Bill's proposal. If, after that, someone is willing to tell us the data they received. About that, I think data should be kept secret for now, to protect everyone's numbers. But we wouldn't be playing the game then. That's the point. It's not like I wanna, but we'll die if we don't. We can avoid it for now, but sooner or later someone will... Okay, let's calm down. We'll talk about that later, alright? Let's start with Rule 3. Excuse this interruption on this momentous occasion, but it is needed. Who am I, you ask? Let's just say I'm a voice in your head, one that not even the rule known as billiards the rule known as billiards can hear. Only you. Don't mistake me for a mere narrator either. Is this Monokuma?
Introductions can wait. Before proceeding, an explanation about what's going to happen is essential. The first council is about to start. How exciting! During a council, your dominion over time will be restricted. In other words, its flow will advance without your consent.
Oh no! But I like consent.
Make sure to pay attention. Do not miss a single phrase. But lucky for you, not all is outside your grasp. Your access to save, loads, the drop pocket, and the backlog will also be lost. However, your barman and the other menus will remain at hand so you can check details. However, there is one exception to those limitations. You will be able to save in a council during a timeout. That chance only comes once in a council, and not all of them, so make good use of it. During councils, you'll have to make some decisions, as you probably imagined, but these ones will have greater impact than the ones prior, and the only way to see all possible paths is restarting the council anew. Oh. And with that, we reach the final key point, your goal during any council, maintaining its tension under control. Tension is a simple concept, barely need of explanation. Fights, disputes, quarrels, suspense, all of those will increase the tension that the rules feel, and with it, the council's rhythm. If it gets too high, remaining in control will be impossible, and the only conclusion possible will be failure. If that happens, you will have to go back to the start of the council or the timeout, so do all that you can to keep that tension low. That's where your choices will matter. The choice of words of the rule billiards. There's another way to influence tension, but I'll leave that explanation for later when it becomes relevant. Do keep in mind, though, that not all shifts in tension will be a consequence for your actions. However, even if it reaches its maximum due to others, only your mistakes will cause a defeat. Finally, before we begin, let's adjust the council's rhythm, or at least the part that's under your control, unaffected by the tension.
Okay. Adjust the message speed and wait before it disappears. The message will show you the result. Find a balance of difficulty and comfort. You must be able to read them and understand them without rushing or losing good rhythm. Once you're done, click the arrow on the right. That's too fast! You know what? Okay, I'm going to say that with this. Adjust the message speed and the wait before it disappears. This message will show the result. Find a balance between difficulty and comfort. You must be able to read them and understand them well without rushing nor losing a good rhythm. Once you're done, click the arrow on the right. I'm going to say a little bit longer wait. I think speed good, wait a bit longer. Let's give that a try. A speed of 3 and a wait of 4.
I see, so be it. Yeah, you still have to click. You can change these settings at any time during a council in the settings or pause menu with a right click. Note that speed includes a 6th option, the last one, which makes all text appear immediately. This one was not included in these settings due to its impracticality in councils, but it's still available on the pause menu if you wish for an impossible challenge. These settings will only appear to councils. After their conclusion, they will be saved for the next one and replaced back with the previous settings. Now it's finally time to start. I wish you luck, but I do not believe you'll need it in this council. And moreover, I am not on your side. I am only a neutral observer.
Dude, the fact that it moves automatically is terrifying. I've never seen a game like this have that. All right. I wonder if the people they're looking at is important. The first council. Oh, it's like the lights flashing on. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I like it. Dude, this game has some style. Okay, so let's start. Bill, Yes, well, as I said, according to Rule 3, we all have to give out a number, one per council, until we've all done it. I'm guessing we can all agree to that by saying all of them at once isn't a good idea. It would make us too vulnerable. Well, yeah, because you can't have two people say the same number. So the most reasonable option is agreeing on an order and swearing to not reveal the other's lies. Dude, the sound of it clicking, that's so good.
Now that you mention it, young man, how does this revealing of lies work?
It's on the clarification screen. With the death of the numbers holder, we're using data and hints. It's kind of an anti-Let's Player feature. So wait, if someone says they are number 2, for example, the real number 2 comes out, the fake one won't be considered a liar? Not unless the real 2 proves their identity. Right. We can claim to be whatever number we want, but we can't show the screen of our thing to prove it. The fact that she says our thing is so real. Barman. Its name's Barman. I know that already. If you say so.
Only irrefutable evidence counts, like in a trial, I guess.
So, what do you think?
You missed one important detail. I wonder if on purpose.
Which?
You said we all have to eventually fulfill Rule 3, 1 per hour.
Well, I guess in theory, whoever has that rule doesn't. But if they don't, gotcha!
I didn't mean that, but it is related. If the individual with Rule 3 dies, that rule disappears and we never have to worry about it again.
Yeah, sure, but... If he says that, he can't be 3. Someone write that down. Is there a place to write this down? Or that's what he wants us to think. Okay, don't write that down.
Or maybe Bill didn't mention this detail because in his head the possibility of 3 dying is impossible. Ergo, he is 3.
Immediately, all attention focused on Bill. He wasn't expecting to end up in that situation. He didn't know his own number, and the data he had received didn't rule out 3. Listen. I mean... Let's just change the subject. Point is, we need to make some agreement. Oof, now that sounded suspicious.
Changing the subject? Not a great idea. Uh-oh.
But...
Seems we got a 3.
Uh-oh. Am I immediately dead?
That was easy.
Uh-oh. That was not good. This isn't good. Everything's getting out of control. Don't assume so much so easily, please. I'm only trying to get us back on topic. Yes, the speculation can wait. So, back to what I was saying. What do you think? Oh, the timeout's fast for this one. Oh, dude, the timeout is so fast for this one. Okay. Salutations again. I need to interrupt once more. Consider it a good chance to relax for a moment. How is the council going? All right, no need to answer. I can't hear you. It's time to explain the last council topic, interventions. Sometimes during a council, the scene will be represented visually as a game of pool or billiards.
Oh.
with each player shown as a ball bearing their symbol. Don't panic, it's only an imaginary depiction. When a light gets cast on a billiard's dark brown ball and it starts to shake, an opportunity to intervene will present itself. You can then decide to change the course of the conversation, for better or for worse. Placing your cursor on top of the ball will let you see what Billiards is thinking. Use that information to predict what he will say if he chimes in, and press if you decide to take it. Intervening impulsively is risky, but so is hesitation. If you take too long, the shown intervention will disappear. And the only way back is starting the council from scratch, unless the same opportunity comes back naturally during the conversation. In any case, your authority to speed up time will come in useful. You do know what I'm talking about, right? Your control over time. Not to be confused with the other more direct method. I might have said too much, but I wanted to make sure. On that note, time will slow down while you're inside Billiard's mind. By how much will depend on the text speed you've chosen. On top of that, the chosen wait time before each message disappears will give you more time to think and make a choice. You can increase it if you feel too pressured, or lower it if you prefer more frenetic experience. Very helpful tools, but don't relax too much, as each chance to intervene can last from a single phrase to, well, who knows. You'll have to use your intuition and interpret the flow of the discussion. But don't stress over it too much. There's more than one path to victory, usually. A perfect performance isn't needed. Just make sure not to let the tension build up too much, or sooner or later you'll reach a destination, be it favorable or not. Being your first time, however, I'll give you one small piece of advice. You do well in taking the first intervention to come. It will only last for one line, so there'll only be a few seconds to take it. Be ready. That is all. With that, my council explanation is complete. Simple, right? And now the reason for his nickname should be obvious. I hope that didn't ruin the mystery too soon for you. Time to go back into action.
So I want to see. Oh. Okay, let's see. What is this menu? Let's see if I got this. Bilbo's ideas to make a bunch of rock, paper, scissors, decide the order of sacrifices in each council. Oh. Oh. Yeah, except the rock, paper, scissors part you made up.
Well, whatevs, details. Point is, somehow we'll choose an order that we'll have to promise to keep with a blood oath.
I'm giving her the Monokuma voice now. It's a problem. I didn't even realize they have different symbols.
I want no part in that. A blood infection is the last thing I need.
Also made up.
Hey, blood oaths aren't made up. They're an important cultural thing somewhere, probably. Respect.
Just admit you pulled that from your ass. Don't be like that. Okay, it does show their face, though. Listen, no jokes here. This is serious. We decide an order and we follow it. No need to overthink it. It's not that complicated. And furthermore, not revealing the other's lies. If we assume that Rule 3 will remain for a while, it's a reasonable proposal. Oh, if we assume, how much we do that? How much of a problem is it? It'll probably be one of the first to go. Okay, I don't trust that. For now, let's assume nobody will get eliminated. Nobody? That'd be great, but that's hoping too much.
Heck, I might have a heart attack at any time. No killer needed.
Well, let's assume nothing will happen for a few hours at least. Assumptions are great, except when our lives depend on them. So I'm just checking here. So I can click this at any time. Okay. If I go to the controls here, hints, barman, maps, pro. Okay, so those are just shortcuts there. Okay. Let's say we do it. One or two people say a number, and then number 3 dies. The rest of us get saved, but what about them?
They won't get affected by the rule anymore? Be logical. As for if Rule 3 disappeared, those who said a number, even if it's proven later that they lied, won't have to give their real one. So there's no consequences. Alright, now I feel dumb. Then no problemo, right? You seem to be getting it now. There's still hope. Everyone doing Rule 3 will lie. That's just a fact. So even if the rule goes away, those people will still be more vulnerable. And why is that? Please, that's obvious. We'll have one less number to suspect them for because the one they gave would be incorrect. Ah, true. One more danger when it comes to Rule 3, albeit minor. And what if someone doesn't lie? Oh, duh. If you say your real number, everyone will think you lied and won't suspect you. Yeah, I kind of thought about that too. That tactic is way too risky. And now that you said it, everyone will suspect whatever number you say. Oh, poopy. If number 3 is eliminated, that's a valid strategy. Otherwise, it's suicide. Not the S word. How? Let's say, for example, that number 1 says their real number is trying to pass it off as a lie. Yeah? If we accuse him of being number 1, he'll be eliminated. Oh, because he said it. Yeah. No kidding. That's why I said it was risky. Yeah, because you said it, which is proof, right? But according to rule, which was it? 6. Wait, can I... 6? Yes, that one. Wait, can I check it here? Wait, okay, so wait. I can check it at any time? Right? In an accused of the person... the accused number will have to abstain from voting. If the majority is reached but the chosen is incorrect, those who vote will be... Okay, so... Wait, how did he know which one I meant? Are you just good at memorizing the rules? Well, Rule 6 says that if a majority fails after accusing someone, that person gets protected. So accusing someone of being the number they said is a double-edged sword if it's true they're out of the game, but if they lied, they become immune to future votes. I don't think someone looking to kill would accuse without being sure. In fact, the logical assumption is that nobody will tell the truth, so there's no point in accusing them. So, telling the truth, although risky, can save you, at least in the short term. No, it's suicide. Listen, for your own good. Doesn't matter if there's a chance that they lied. Accusing someone of the number they gave will lead to their death. It won't happen right away. For a while, their survival will be guaranteed even, but not for long. If they are accused and it's incorrect, their lie will be proven and they'll have to reveal their real number. Rule 6 will protect them for some time. As soon as that rule falls or the majority changes, they'll be the first to go. Silence, no objections. We all knew Jin was right. So basically, if you say the truth, you can get killed, and if you lie, you'll have a harder time to survive later on. It may not guarantee your death, but lying is a far better option than the truth. I didn't even do anything. Wait a moment. That's only true if a majority accuses the one who gave it a number. Or who gave a number. Would any of you really be okay with that? Feet raised. Many stares around the table, but nobody answered. Many stares moved, rather. It finally reached the core topic of the discussion. Rule 3 was urgent, but all of them knew deep down somebody would fulfill it to avoid death. What was truly important was the game itself. Who would participate seriously? Who was mentally prepared to kill another human being? All right, this is it. I have to get through to them somehow. If I have time to do it to survive, I will. That's fair. Should I try to convince them with ethics? What a passion for life. Do the young ones do the young... Okay, no. A kid his age shouldn't be making a choice like that. It's awful, but as much as I hate to admit it... No, I'm coming after you. I understand how you feel, but... Listen, can you live happily after killing? And he's a kid. If you manage to win the game and get out of here, will you be able to live with the guilt? Question both harsh and vital. We first met less than an hour ago. There's some people here that I simply don't see myself getting along with, but none give the look of a psycho. We all know that, whatever happens, our lives won't be the same after this, but that doesn't mean death is the best option. I'm not sure everyone here would feel guilty. Speak for yourself. Chill, kid. I wasn't talking about you. Unless you think otherwise. Screw you. Do you need a screwdriver for this very hypothetical scenario? Stay out of this, weirdo. Weird-O? You mean like how a 0 is like a squashed O? What? That diffuse the situation? Listen, I get no enjoyment out of saying any of this, and hopefully nobody here does. But this is our reality now. You can be more aggressive or passive, but it's not possible to keep ignoring the game. You can only do that if you already gave up like the old man. Is it that noticeable? You admitted to it a couple of times, I think. Yeah, right? Besides, the hyperactive girl, you sure seem to be taking this the easiest. I'm the hyperactive girl, right? Not that I'm looking forward to death, mind you, but I already did everything I planned to do in life. Oh. By no means was it the most satisfying life, but it's the one I had. I don't want these youngsters to take the bullet for somebody like me already on my way to the grave. That's what's fair. I'll defend myself a tad, yes, but without getting the belt out. Can't do much with these pile of old bones anyways. Never much good in the first place. I get what you're trying to say, Bill, but like Poker said, I prefer living with that weight than dying in this place. What's wrong with the bar? And dying in this game. Well, fair enough, I suppose. I don't like it one bit, but that's how it is. I have more than enough reason to want to live. I imagine everyone else does too. Certainly, we must do all we can to not stain our hands with blood. Just looking right at the hand. While also protecting our very lives, even at the cost of others. Even if you keep saying that it's better than death, that you must protect your lives, that you don't like it, even if it's all true. When everything gets worse and somebody gets desperate, it'll all fall apart. In less than an hour, we could all be dead, no survivors. A game like this can corrupt anyone. Even if you survive, what you did will follow you for the rest of your life. Bill spewed out all that he had been holding back, all his thoughts and fears. Everyone stared at him, making him even more nervous. Oh, that's not good. You know, I'll give you that. Whoever survives this will have their life changed forever. That doesn't change my opinion, though. I prefer a tormented life to none at all. Maybe I'll go to hell later, but I'm not very religious, so it won't keep me awake at night. Even if the winner gets caught and goes to jail, it's still damn better fate than dying here. Well, it's always been a fight for survival. That is the society we've created. Oh, you're Mr. Society Man. Strong survive by preying on the weak. This game is only an extreme microcosm of that. And just like society, to survive, you have to follow the rules. No. No. You can break them. Is that really true? You think it's not? You're all assuming something that could be wrong. Enlighten us. Listen. The game could have a loophole. Absolutely. I don't think the poison's alive, but I think it's a loophole. Compare this game to our society. Sure, our society is far from perfect, but I don't see it as a fair comparison. Interesting. Continue. How do I say this? Basically, society has been created through generations going back centuries. But this game apparently has only one creator. Our kidnapper, this owner. They might be a psychopath, sick, crazy, but they're human, and no human's perfect. So before you throw yourselves into playing the game seriously to survive at the cost of others, maybe we should look for the possible mistakes that might exist. There might be a way for all of us to get out of here alive, breaking the game from the inside. Oh yeah? Dart's eyes opened with clear surprise, which he unsuccessfully tried to hide. The rest of the group also seemed shocked. It was obvious once said out loud, but nobody seemed to have realized yet. Put in such a situation, so distinct from anything they had lived before, instinctively jumped to one conclusion. This seems real, it's too elaborate to be false. Getting carried away by negativity, or for whatever reason, they had taken the owner's words as if they were the absolute truth. Such a setting could only appear in fiction, never in real life. So the only insight they could gain was through that fiction. A group of strangers are forced into playing a game where they have to kill or be killed. Traps or strategies to win dirty were the only alternative. No work of fiction would let the characters avoid the game entirely and escape without participating. There would be no loophole, no error in the jail they had been locked in. That's why automatically, unconsciously, they had reached that conclusion. Whoa! Big up! Yeah! That was the big right option.
Bravo, young man. Maybe this youth is more promising than I believed. You, at least, could have a brilliant future. If we get out of here, of course.
That last bit wasn't needed, Gramps.
I have to admit defeat and consider that possibility.
Me neither.
Oh, I was on her nose. Sadly, I think I'm too negative in these types of situations. In these types, does this happen often to you or what? Of course not. It's my first time. But where can that loophole be? How do we escape? I don't know. Then that's what we gotta work towards, kiddo. Chill, let's not crush poor Billy Bill with so much responsibility. Maybe we can find something together. Exactly. I'm not saying it'll be easy, or even that this way out absolutely exists. But we can't give up without trying.
Sounds good. I honestly wouldn't know where to even begin. But I admit defeat in this debate, and with pleasure. No game is perfect, and with this level of complexity, it's even more likely that there's some huge mistake.
I won't retract my words, but I agree with that.
In that case, we could declare the council done. But before that, we gotta give our numbers still.
Who will take the fall? Oh, Rule 3! Duh, silly me forgot already.
We never reached any conclusion. Just because we agree about the game doesn't mean we agree with the other proposal too.
Ah. I say yes. Ball, you have my vote. Not accusing, I mean on this.
Thanks, I guess, but the name is, yeah.
Letting chance decide would be fair.
I give my support as well. Okay, fine. Let's just do it.
I have one condition.
What?
I'll agree to your proposal in its entirety. However, as a show of confidence in your own idea, and to prove that you truly are ready to take a risk for it, we will decide the order at random, but you'll be the first by default.
You mean...
Billiards, tell us, what is your number?
His heart started to pound violently. No, that had been the case during all the council, but he hadn't realized it until that moment. It was simple. He only had to give out a number, from 1 to 10. A number that wasn't his own, and thanks to the data he had gotten, there were 4 numbers he could be sure of. But there was one huge problem. If for some reason his lie was discovered, he couldn't give his real one. He didn't know it. Which meant that, if for everyone else being discovered was a death penalty, for him it was the execution itself. But Darts was right. If he wanted to be taken seriously, he had to show his resolve and take a step forward. He would help get their trust. He would protect them. But He didn't aim to participate in that game. Okay, let's just see here. I'm curious about something. Ah, no. Wait, can I not click? Okay, there we go. I want to check something. So let me just see here. Is there any that we can definitely, because it was, right? If we go to data, 157 or wait, 1579. So if we go 1, can't kill. 5, swap rule. 7, data reveal. Right? 9. I think we might be 9. Maybe. I think because... 1579, right? Likes black coffee. No one's talked about coffee. Right? It lasts 15 minutes. Any council member can pause and initiate one. Only one accusal is permitted per number per player. Alive, non-present players will be counting absent, abstaining. Whereas on a blank vote will be added to the most voted name. Oh, wow, that's actually interesting. At any moment, except accusals, council members can request the end. If all players accept, the council will close. After 15 minutes, it will be closed automatically. No records there. Notes? I don't even have any notes. Okay. What's in here? Who changed? Everyone changed. Still got a bartender with us. Too soon to jump to conclusions. Says where they are right now. Seems to be sure of himself. Oh, is it just saying they're at the... Okay, it's just saying they're there. I want to keep positive outlook and not fall into the hands of the mastermind behind the game. I'm guessing it's just going to show we're all here. Or just showing where we are. Click the map. Press shift to zoom in and out. Huh. Okay. What is this area? Oh, it's the bar. That's the kitchen. Okay. That situation, that fear of death, was exactly what the owner sought. If his life was of equal value to the rest, the choice was obvious. However, his own life was more important. Or maybe he should look at it as a necessary sacrifice so he could later reach the perfect end he yearned for. Even so, taking that step, jumping into the unknown, was something that only a few were mentally capable of. Billiards was a normal guy. Nobody special. Someone you could find anywhere. He was no hero, no daredevil, not the type to jump into danger. Would he really put his life at stake for everyone's sake? He had to give out an answer. Yeah, we'll do it. Let's do it. We have to. We have to do it. Let's do it. My number is 1. Okay. What do we think? Council completed. Congrats. All present players have overcome the first hour. As gift, the antidotes will be arriving shortly. Drink them as soon as possible is advised to avoid the secondary effects of the poison and death. Chapter end. Introduction interviews unlocked. Introduction interviews. What are those? What is it? Is it? Huh. I want to see that at least. Interlude. Another day. You know what? No. I think that's a good place to call it. I think it's a good place. I think because here's the thing, we've been going for almost 3 hours, and I'm like, that's a lot. I think that's a good place to call it. I'm fairly certain this is where the demo would have ended. Maybe it's a little bit more. There's a chance. I don't know. I am using the full game because I was given the full game. Thank you very much for that. But yes, let's leave it at that, I say. This has been quite the adventure, right? I really like that. There's a lot of the presentation stuff is crazy. I'll say one thing I'll say is I felt extremely overwhelmed in those sort of conversations there. But mind you, it might be because I am, of course, reading it out loud, which has its benefits, but also has its downsides to being like kind of on, right? But at the same time, it's like, yeah, that's really interesting. Just paying attention to all these rules and stuff. And yeah, no. Thank you again to Emiya Yukido, aka Torib, for sending me this game, and it's so cool. Yeah, this is a cool visual novel, and I hope you guys go check it out. I have a link in the description to go get it yourself. Give it a look. At least play the demo. I mean, I think the demo, I pretty much covered it, but if not, hey, at least give it a try. See if you go down a different path that I did. Maybe you'll do better than me. I don't know. But we'll see you guys next time for some more quick looks in the future. And thank you again very much for sending me this code. And we'll see you then. Ciao.
Yo.